Chat, what it do? What it do? What it do? Off the hip. We gotta bring y'all something though. Don't get too comfortable. I was just slow on something. I'm reading my phone. Hold on. Hold on. Let's be clear, chat. Hold on.
Some minor technical difficulties, but guess what? We have arrived.
Yeah, as the countdown was going, I had gotten a text message. Chat, we here though. Just welcoming everybody in. Off the hip.
Chilling at the head of the table where the boss is sitting, stunning everything in sight. Whether it's in the bloodline or corporate, walk me out there with a big smile, no handcuff by officers. Hold on, wait, I
Hold
think
on,
they lost the script. We got some shooters. Pow. It's off the hip. Yeah. Oh, chilling at the head of the table where the boss is sitting, stunning everything in sight. Whether it's in the bloodline or corporate, walk me out there with a big smile, no handcuffed by officers. Hold on, wait, I think they lost the script. We got some shooters. Pow. It's off the hip. Chilling at the head of the table where the boss is sitting, stunning everything in sight. Whether it's in the bloodline or corporate, walk me out the arena, big smile.
What's up, Cookie? We see you out there.
Hold on, wait, I think they lost the script. We got some shooters. Ah. It's off the hip. Off the hip. Off the hip. Chilling at the head of the table where the boss
Big murder in the building.
everything in sight. Whether it's
Ooh.
in the bloodline or corporate,
Yes, sir.
walk me out the arena, big smile.
Let 'em know, murder.
Handcuffed by officers. Hold on,
It's about
wait, I
growth.
think they lost the script. We got some shooters, pow. It's off the hip. We got some shooters, pow. It's off the hip. Chilling at the head of the table where the boss is sitting, stunning everything in sight. Whether it's in the bloodline or corporate, walk me out the arena, big smile, no handcuffed by officers. Hold on, wait, I think they lost the script. We got some shooters, pow, pow. It's off the hip.
Yeah, everybody pouring in. The show gonna start soon.
Off the hip. Chilling at the head of the table.
We gotta let y'all enjoy this lovely banger that we have tonight.
Walk me out the arena, big smile, handcuffed by officers. Hold on, wait, I think they lost the script. We got some shooters, pow. It's off the hip. I got some shooters, pow. It's off the hip. We got some shooters, pow. It's off the hip. Off the hip. Chilling at the head of the table where the boss is sitting, stunning everything in sight. Whether it's in the bloodline or corporate, walk me out the arena, big smile, handcuffed by
Hold on, wait. Man. Chat, what it do, Ski? What it do? We are here. Your boy HD. Your brother Razor, man. What's going on? Unwelcome your
Wow.
thoughts. Off the hip. Chat, if y'all wondering what song that is by Vibe Fusion, Off the Hip, the QR code right above Razor, right over there. Go check it out. Go hit it out. Pull out your phones right now and see if the QR code works for yourself. I'm pretty sure it does. Go check it out, man. If y'all enjoy the song, y'all want to hear more, give us some spin, man. We want to do some more special wrestling projects, and that'll help us get there. You know what I'm saying? How you feeling, Razor? How it goes today?
It's been a very interesting 14 hours for me from watching three different shows from New Japan World to Pro Wrestling Noah to Monday Night Raw tonight. My brain is moving at about 100 miles an hour right now.
Me, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. We had Monday Night Raw tonight. This is the second week in a row where we are now officially at the 2 hour mark. I think this hour I'm about to say this hour. This episode of 2 hours it felt better this week than it did last week. I'm gonna start by saying that.
So it was incredible.
Incredible. And again, remember, I don't know. It's something about us. Snake Eyes say it all the time. Shout out to my brother Snake Eyes. You know, he's very busy. He's working on some special content for y'all. So y'all keep up with the brother Snake Eyes. You know what I'm saying? You see his at right there over in the moving ticker below. Snake Eyes FG. Y'all go follow him on Twitter. Keep up Instagram. Y'all keep up with what he got going on. You know what I'm saying? But he's been saying it. We always got a finger on the pulse. And remember, Razor, just when I was talking about superstar shakeups,
We been getting busy.
and it's felt organic too. And I'm not gonna lie, I think for me, this is the
Feels
one.
right.
It feels right, bro. It feels right. The great takeaway about this, or about these events that come from Saudi, I think those are when we get the cross. We've been getting the crossover. The last one, King of the Ring, we got Randy and Gunther. You know, Valkyria and Nia Jax. And now we seeing it again when we got Gunther and Cody, which I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think I wanted to see this for Saudi for Crown Jewel, but the way that now I'm starting to see them in the same presence again. I'm starting to have a different feel about it. And it's also refreshing to see Cody away from everything he's been doing on SmackDown too. Like this is gonna be I'm not saying AJ, Kevin Owens. I'm not trying to disrespect those gentlemen, but a one-on with Gunther, that's the
I,
2024 match he's needed.
I've been telling y'all for months. The American Nightmare is no babyface. Listen carefully to the words he articulated tonight.
Man,
I'll get to that later on tonight, but just keep that in mind.
we got Rhea Ripley kicking off Raw tonight. How you felt about Tiffany Stratton showing up? I'm not gonna lie, that was the big surprise. That was one of the big surprises.
That was a very pleasant, lovely surprise.
Whoa, my brother. Thank you, brother Murder. Appreciate you tapping in with us, man. Appreciate everybody that's here with us. We got 25 in the building. You guys could be anywhere, but y'all out here with me and my brother Razor, man. That means a lot. It really does.
Salud.
It helps the algorithm for what we got going on. And we never force you guys into anything. Everything that you guys do for us is organic. The same way we come out here and talk our talk, and we strictly off the hip, and we unwelcome in our thoughts. Yeah, we could do this off the air, but we doing it because we know that y'all care. Yeah, yeah.
Don't let us fuck around and do this all night. We'll go till the sun come up. Oh damn. Oh damn, they done got him again. For those of you that have seen the past, whoever's on his
No,
shit,
I
they
got
did
so
get him
hyped.
this time.
I got so hyped. I hit the back button. I
Never
got so hyped.
mind.
I hit the back button.
Never mind.
Oh
He's getting
man,
like a schoolgirl now.
man.
I love it.
But yeah, man, like it's been a special 2 hours tonight. We got Tiffany Stratton coming out, and you know what I'm saying. Again, I wanted to get your thoughts before I back myself out on her popping up tonight.
What a surprise. And I'm very impressed as to how she held her own on the mic as well.
Now I'm not gonna lie. On Raw, I feel like SmackDown was good to see her, come up, but Raw, she looked. It was Tiffany time for sure. Like,
But I'm just saying, but just her on the mic going shot for shot with mommy.
yeah, I was surprised. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that was,
She was on her shit tonight.
yeah, she was on. She was definitely on, and I was surprised because, again, she's been playing this backseat role to Nia Jax, so her character hasn't been showing this too much on SmackDown. And I think we know people that have been watching her for quite some time now. Like we know that she can hang. Like she's been doing this. You know what I'm saying?
The potential's been there. It's
Yes,
visible.
yes,
They they let her loose tonight, and she delivered.
man. Also, I feel like the reality might be setting in clearer. Like, is this the test to see Tiffy on Raw? Like, are we seeing a potential cash in on Like, I think that's where we
Let's
going with things.
let's dig a little deeper. Can you imagine Tiffy time on Netflix?
Mm.
Again, Triple H likes to play the long game.
And I actually could because she's like cinema. She's a younger talent. She can relate more to the younger audience.
He's
And
very active on TikTok.
yes, it'll definitely drive up some social engagements more than already is at. I think it'll be a win-win. Her being a Raw is refreshing.
And also one thing that we're kind of brushing by, should they go back to the intergender style matches, her man's on Raw.
Yep,
Ludwig Kaiser. So again, it'd be the best of many roles for her should she transition to Raw,
I can't
especially
wait
as
to
women's
see that.
champion.
Amethyst Pisces said, I can't wait to see the OG bloodline reunite. I am praying for Roman to officially rename Sammy to Sammy Uso. So, I mean, can we? I mean, let's get into it then. Let's go on and get into it then, folks. I love this. I love when the
On the play,
folks. I love when the folks are on my type of timing.
it said, "We throw the grenade."
I thought the Tiffy stuff was good. Nah, let's
So
get to
right
the
now we
better
want to go in chronological order.
stuff.
Woo, woo. My brother, if I may, yeet or no yeet? That is the question.
Can I just please put this one more time on the screen as we speak for a few and give our interpretations on what happened tonight? Who sent Jim? I got so many questions. Who sent Jimmy? Is he work? I know he's work. I feel like he's working on his own. Jimmy's been calling plays since he came back and Roman didn't know it. So I'm gonna answer my own question.
Yeah, he been telling Roman on SmackDown, "Hey, I know one dude that could have our backs." And what did Roman say? No yeet. Jimmy wants to right the wrongs of the family's past. Say,
Thank
hey,
you,
at the end
chat.
of the day, hey, we still blood.
Thank you,
At
chat. I
the end of the
appreciate
day,
y'all.
Cat, my brother, was good. At the end of the day, we family.
We all on board. Jimmy went on his own. Now the reason I
Jimmy
say
needs this.
The reason I say because okay, we also haven't seen Paul Heyman on screen. What's gonna be his inclusion when he's back? Is he still gonna be with the OG bloodline, or do we see? I mean, I remember Razor, you kind of alluding to could Paul Heyman be on the other side of things now? But it's hard to see that with the way Solo and them took him out. But
Like he
I was thinking like,
took him out. He acknowledges that Solo is not his tribal chief. We know where his heart lies. Also, later in the show, one person recently has announced where his line is on the sand, but I'll get to that later. But back to Paul Heyman, the wise man. He's going to be the guy to call when desperate times call for desperate measures. As we said earlier, right now, Jimmy, he's back. He's calling the shots. He's earning Roman's trust back. But on top of that, he also knows that in order to handle little brother, he needs his twin brother. Hey, little bro's acting a fool. We got to come regulate his ass. We got to let him know. The family business, yes, but we still big bros.
so let me ask you because I feel like Jimmy, I always said this. Jim, remember when we was like, how do we get them back together? And I said it's a simple apology. He's attempting to do this. He's attempting to speak to him. It's not that simple. Okay. I also said, how does he right his wrongs? He done costed Jay so many championships that I thought personally he would have helped him capture the one against Braun Breaker, but now could it be the pivot to where he helps him retain the championship? Or is Jay gonna lose the championship and Jimmy's gonna look at him like, man, you ready to talk now? Like,
Go to the two-way real quick. I want them to look at me when I say this.
oh yeah, I got you, brother. Give me 1 second. Yes, sir.
Weird shit always happens in Philly, and it just so happens that next week when main event Jey Uso and badass Braun Breaker run it back is in the city of brotherly love.
Oh, I would also like to mention that there was something because you mentioned that he had a magnificent video package. That's Braun Breaker I'm speaking about. He said something very interesting to me in that package. What I'm trying to find it in the message because I want to get it word for word. Your family cannot save you from me. He doubled down. Well, it was before nobody from your family has ever whooped somebody from my family. Now it's nobody from your family can save you from him, from me,
You,
from
you,
Braun.
you say where them dogs at? Don't you wake up the big dog now, Braun. Don't you stir up and ruffle the feathers of the tribal chief now. It's a dangerous game you're playing, Braun. Be careful.
It's a very dangerous game because anything can happen next week. Like Amethyst was alluding to, we got the what he calls or she calls the Timu bloodline, and then I'm assuming that'll be the Judgment Day.
Let's jump into this rabbit hole real quick. It was just too damn funny in my head. Can you imagine Philadelphia? I'm assuming it's gonna be the main event. Braun set up for the spear, and as he's getting ready to pop up for it, we just hear the drums in the orchestra. Braun goes shit his pants.
Because I feel like in a very popular way, this is the one time you pull a heel move to keep Jay. Like you essentially cheat to keep Jay with the championship, but it'll be in favor of the people.
Well, I think Braun's been more of the heel so far in this story,
Definitely.
but it's Jimmy's definitely playing a part next week. Maybe he tries to help him. Braun steals a win, and Jimmy's trying to tell him, "Hey, I'm just trying to do right for what happened back in the day. Just trying to right the wrongs."
And it
And
should
then
be
either Roman talks to him, maybe at Crown Jewel, maybe Paul reemerges and talks to him. One of them is going to appear either on Raw or at Crown Jewel and talk to him and say, "Hey, this is family." On some Vin Diesel Fast and the Furious shit.
you seen how we spoke off air and you felt like you didn't think it'd happen this soon. I enjoy that. I'm glad that they kind of just like gave us a random moment in time where Jimmy just popped up on Raw for this. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I thought this would have started again as quick as they progress stories. I thought this would have been maybe the go home show to Crown Jewel, definitely after Crown Jewel. But then again, if I look at my calendar, it's like, no, if you give it the proper and appropriate time, right now it's probably about right. If anything, Jimmy probably should have been reintroduced maybe 3 weeks ago. But again, we're here now. Now they're probably getting back on schedule.
Hmm. And I mean, I'm really
But
enjoying the
also real
Bloodline
quick,
storyline crossing over to both is
when was the
crazy.
last time Roman was on Raw?
Barclays before Mania
Last year?
this year.
Okay.
Remember, that was when Rock. Everybody was basically
Hmm.
on Raw that night.
That's the other elephant in the room. How often does he reappear? Do we see him before Crown Jewel? We
That's
still don't
another.
know which. We still
That's
don't know which
another.
one he's targeting first.
That's another interesting like conversation to have with the Usos right now. After like, yeah, we want to see them reunite for the purposes of like what it does for the story, but it's like,
There's so many stories in just those that small handful of gentlemen right there.
wait, and then where do we go? Do we want to see them go back to the tag team? Do we want them individually? It's a lot.
So I saw that same question get posed on Twitter. Now I want to ask you, like, where do you see them? Going stay in the singles? Do they immediately jump back into the tag team run? Because the part feels like they'll lean towards these singles runs, respectively, but they'll probably do double duty as run a tag team themselves.
At this point, I feel like they're bigger than the tag team division. Like you see how you feel like, oh, there's nothing going on in the tag team division. Like I really enjoyed
Yeah,
how
but
the story's been
there's no
told.
depth in the tag teams either. I mean, yeah, we added one more tag team today, but Raw's getting a little thick finally, just using them wisely.
No, that's what I'm saying.
And
I don't want to see them as a tag team because the hype Jay's been getting as a singles, it's like we already seen them at the height of the tag team division many times. Like
well,
this, I'm interested about what they can do on their own right now. I wouldn't mind them helping each other and they'll tag from time to time, but I don't think they need to go back to becoming the
have we
champions so
gotten
soon.
Usos versus Profits yet?
I want to say yes.
Are you sure?
I'm not sure, but we could quick look up.
Because if we haven't gotten that yet, I'd love to see that one. Me being the selfish bastard that I am, I would love to see them versus the Gorillas. And also, if we get another tag team this Friday too in the Motor City Machine Guns, can you imagine that matchup? So two, maybe three main event worthy tag team matches of them are on SmackDown right now. I'm just leave it at that.
I see y'all turning up the chat out there, Goldie. I appreciate you tapping in. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Because I think Profits might have been on Raw when no, but maybe for the Raw tag belts, maybe. Now you got me thinking.
Let me see. My I don't know why my phone tab is. Type it out. They I don't know if it was for championship gold, but they faced off on a Raw episode April 11th, 2022.
Okay, so
Also
they
on
have
the SmackDown 2021. Yeah, they
so
faced
they
off
have
a few times.
okay, so they shared the ring together, but still again, you see them twice, wouldn't mind seeing them another time. And again, you still got the Gorillas and you still got the Machine Gun. So again, you still got three main event worthy PLEs against them if you put them on
Oh yeah.
SmackDown together.
Matter of fact, the Street Profits were trying to dethrone the Usos while they were part of the Bloodline.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And so again, if they were to be a tag team, there's some money for them on SmackDown still. Maybe not so much on Raw, but as a tag team on SmackDown, yes. And then I wouldn't mind seeing Usos versus the Lucha Brothers either.
That'd be fresh. But again, like we spoke about that too, it'd be interesting to see them um on their own too. I think, but it's also room to do both. It's just how you do it. But
Hmm.
I think the more exciting one for me is the story that's been told, like with Jay on his own, and then there's now room for Jimmy to have his own story and try to like catch up.
Okay, but you still got three of the big four you put those matchups on.
Mhm. That's what I'm saying. There's still room for that, but like for the
Like I said,
remainder of what they're gonna be doing for the next few years, I don't. I'd rather just see them doing separate stuff. Like if the Bloodline could be all over Raw, SmackDown, that if they could be on both brands, I prefer that.
I said you wanted a superstar shakeup,
Hmm.
but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Which, by the way, they're working won't be long,
I'm over here reading the comments. They turning the chat up, man. I appreciate y'all.
right?
Let's
I
get it.
see that.
I definitely feel like that was one of the more, like I was telling you off air. To me, the Jimmy popping up on screen was one of the more exciting moments because it was giving me must see, can't miss WWE television feel. Like if you happen to go to sleep early or just didn't want to tune in tonight, you're gonna feel like, damn. Jimmy was on Raw tonight. Even if it was for those few moments, you're gonna feel like you missed something. And it was
Hmm.
dope that they put that out there tonight. And, what else we had on the show for tonight?
We had a lot. Do you want to go back to that opening segment with the very interesting women?
Yeah, how you feel about Raquel Rodriguez since she's been back? What's your thoughts on Raquel?
Well, but it's assuming her and Tiffany are gonna throw down eventually. That's gonna be a solid matchup for both of them. She's already got a great chemistry with Liv and Rhea respectively, so those will be some fun matches down the road. And same with Nia. But ultimately, having those four women, which are all former champions respectively, great company for Tiffany Stratton right now. You were in a marquee segment essentially, and you main evented Monday Night Raw. You opened and closed the show.
Now, all right, so
Well
let's get
done.
into the main event. How'd you feel about the main event? 'Cause when I looked at the time, I seen it was 10 minutes. Like the entrances, they're coming out. It's about 9:40 something. So I was like, okay, they're gonna put on a
This didn't need to be long because again, this is ultimately to set up when and more importantly, will we get a cash in soon?
I think what felt odd to me was that it felt like the end of a second hour, just not like a main event. It felt like this would have ended the second hour of a 3 hour Raw.
And this is where we've been spoiled of that third hour. We're so used to them taking a break at right when they stop tonight's show. It's like, all right, just like with SmackDown, they have mastered the art of leaving us wanting more.
Yep. That's definitely what happened tonight. I'm like, dang, like that's it for Raw. Like, there's no more. That's how I went going off the air feeling watching Raw.
Hmm.
Now it's okay because I got to watch the Yankees get a win right after that. Shout out to the Yankees picking up game one.
And I guess we could say Josh Allen pulled off an upset, beating Aaron Rodgers. I'm calling it an upset.
In a tight, close game. Came down to the defense,
The
locking it
winner
down.
basically would have led the division, which Buffalo now is like a commanding lead over. Also, the Mets beat the Dodgers. Thank fucking God.
So the next thing that happened on Raw, I guess we got into the women's tag match.
Well, no, that was the main event. But after that,
No,
uh,
the Bianca Belair, was it that?
oh yeah, no, yeah, no, the championship match, yes, with a very beautiful video package. I forgot to shoot tag team matches today,
Yep.
but again, damage control and Jade and Bianca, incredible chemistry. Once again, I believe Io Sky was the all star of this matchup. She has been in her bag lately. She's in full form.
What's your
But
thoughts
yeah,
on Lash Legend and Jakara getting the look like they was on SmackDown? We see him again tonight on Raw.
I'll answer your question with this question: what brand do you want to see them on more? Because in my opinion, Raw's got all the tag teams for women.
I mean, and they looked better on Raw to me. SmackDown, something
What
about
other
it,
tag teams are there?
huh?
Chelsea and Piper.
Yeah, it's more competitive on Raw. It's more competitive scene on Raw for them.
Also, you can get Lash versus Rhea, Lash versus just about anybody. But again, like if you want to incorporate them as a tag team, Raw is the better move. You want to incorporate more on Raw or as a singles, SmackDown might be the move. But as a tag team, yeah, definitely Raw is the move.
Are you su- are you surprised that they're just showing them and not the rest of Metaphor?
No, because they're focused on the women's tag team champions.
Okay.
So Noam Dar, Sanchez Samuel and what's the other boy's name? Mensa. They got nothing to do with this right now.
Cause I'm gonna be honest. The reason I say they look better tonight. Thank you, Goldie. I appreciate you. We're gonna tap in. The reason I say that they look better tonight, the way they were presented, than when they came out on SmackDown. They have the metaphor and the on the Titantron, and
Hmm.
it's like, okay, who's the four? What's the four? Even though I know, but
Yeah, because
mhm. If I was a
I
first
guess
time viewer, that wouldn't work.
I think it was Michael Cole that last Friday tried to get off at calling them the Meta Girls instead of Metaphor. So maybe a possible rebranding.
I mean,
We'll
and
see
I'm
where
gonna
they
be
go with
honest
it.
too. I don't know how metaphor came about, but I always found it odd when I seen that group. I was like, okay, I never understood how they came together. So taking them away probably benefit them in the long run. To be honest,
Yeah, and unfortunately, where does Noam Dar go from here? Because he struggled with Raw, he struggled in 205 Live, struggled in NXT, struggled in NXT UK, struggled in NXT 2.0, and now this current iteration of NXT.
would you ever want to see a cruiserweight? I know we've seen too many reiterations of, but now under Triple H's supervision, is there hope for
Honestly, I think
the
Noam
championship?
Dar is better off suited to be an AEW guy. He fits that style of what they want to do.
I could see that. I mean, I'm surprised he's lasted as long as he has in
Right.
WWE. To be honest,
'Cause he's been there almost 10 years.
he's been there for a while. Yeah. I mean, and what's the other gentleman that's with them?
Or
Or
Mensa.
yeah.
Him, I'm not too familiar with, but Noam Dar, I'm surprised he stayed there with him this long.
Mm. How'd you feel about like? I feel like they really setting up Jade and Bianca versus Lash and Jakara. Like they want that to be a real. Is there a possibility we actually see those championships going to NXT?
We haven't seen it yet, and with the rub that Jakara Jackson, excuse me, Miss Jackson and Last Legend are getting, I wouldn't put it past them to pull that trigger
Would you want to
because
see that?
it would be different. It would also be refreshing, but again, like this would put more emphasis on NXT being a legitimate third brand.
The only way I want to see that is if it's gonna start something between Jade and Bianca. If they take a L,
That's my next point because I don't know if you heard Joe Tessitore as a tag team. They're 18-1, 18-1,
and we know it's only a matter of time.
and it's what everyone was waiting for, anyways.
Mm-hmm. Cause I'll be very disappointed if they lose. Like I'll legit be disappointed if Jade and Bianca, if we should look at them no more than just a tag team.
And there's so much more than that. They can be so much more than that. Bianca is a former women's world champion. Jade is a former champion in her own respects.
Cause I don't know. Like, do you think Jade needs that much? I mean, she's been on television. She's been on PLEs overseas, different countries. Like, does she
Bianca's main
need
event in WrestleMania.
does she need this much more work, Jade? I'm saying though, does Jade need this much more work? Like, what are we?
Well, again, if that is the case, then well, what are you looking for? Tell us what's missing so we can understand where your brain's going.
Because the idea is to get her.
This can't be all they want to do. I refuse to believe that.
Because if you wanted to have her conditioned for a 30-minute match, I don't understand how all these
And it don't
tag
have
team
to be
matches.
30 minutes.
No, I'm just putting it out there, or just conditioned for a singles match period. But she's been in so many tag team matches.
Yeah.
Like I find that a bit odd. And then the few singles matches that I do feel like I get from her, they feel kind of like odd. They still related to the tag team, what the tag team story would be.
Well, let's touch on this. Bianca's last singles match was a loss
Hmm.
to Io. So, but again, like you guys got to be starting some of them by now because like this, there's no way this can be a long term team. But even if it is, cool. But everybody only wants to see that one on one, nothing else.
Speaking of
They
tag
will-
team,
they want to see what you. I'll leave 'em on this note. They want to see where us fans want to see where Jade is amongst the that upper echelon of that women's singles division.
yes,
And
I
who better
agree.
to match her up than with Bianca? What, you gonna throw her to Charlotte already? You gonna throw her to Rhea? You gonna do that to her already?
I mean, I would have thought by now she'll be on pace to challenge for one of the women's championships. Like the tag team, okay, entry level, okay. Even Cody got that too when he came through. He won the tag team belts with Jay before he got the heavyweight. But I don't think for the female, like she can easily take the SmackDown belt. Could have been
Right,
had it.
right.
And I want to see
Would you be mad if
Tiffany
they
on
gave her the
Raw
Money in
now
the Bank title or briefcase?
for Jade.
Yeah, would you be mad at that?
No,
Yeah, so instead of Tiffany, you could have given it to her.
I mean I'm be honest. Even the Royal Rumble spot when she came, I thought it would have been a nice. Obviously, you can't have her just come through, but y'all still booked her in that position anyway.
You could have had her and Jordan Grace booked a little stronger. But again, next year is another year. I would hope she wins next year's Rumble in Indianapolis.
Yeah, because to me, she should be on pace. I mean, she lost to Nia. She was in that tournament for the opportunity
The Queen of
to
the Ring.
face, yes, but the way she got outed was kind of crazy.
Hmm.
DQ'd.
So again, like if she's missing something, well, tell us what it is so we can sit down and shut up.
Do you think it's WWE tried to handle her delicately because of the way that they didn't want the fans to go against her, and they wanted to give us that feel like she's going through the circuit before we give her that push. 'Cause I feel like that was the when she first came through, a lot of people were being
I know what you're
very quick. Yeah,
saying,
like they were being.
but if that was the case, why not NXT run then? Plain and simple.
Maybe that wasn't what was negotiated, but the once the contract was
I mean,
signed and we know
she was down there training anyways off camera,
right, yeah.
so she was already there.
But I think that's what the fans, that's the part of the fans, like, that's why I say the fans wanted to know she put in that work. But I feel like now we cheering for her. We know, well, I was always cheering for her, but I say we as the wrestling community, they're embracing her now. So I think now's the time to make her heel and they'll fucking hate her and it'll really take her to that level she was once at with AEW where she was a heel, but now it's going to be even 10 times greater. Gonna be 10 times greater. The
There was
the
an
baby
easier way.
face, the baby face Jade, it feels a little forced on me. Like she's not a bad baby face, but I know what she's capable of as a heel.
There
Character
was
and
an
in
easy
ring.
there was an easier mountain to climb for her than this.
That face off with her and Charlotte Flair backstage sold me.
La- Last year was the 1 year anniversary of that moment, or last week.
That moment should have told us coming into the company, she's on pace to be in the ring with the Charlotte Flair. Now
Should
we knew
at
better.
at
Now
that moment, if she was training, she should have had her on NXT TV. That would have been the moment to pull the trigger there, get her primed and ready. Yeah, have a little tag team with Bianca, whatever. Have the falling out. Boom. Either
what
have her contest Naya or have her contest
what's your thoughts on
Liv,
Roxanne
whatever.
Perez? Do you feel like she's getting too much of a like I'm beyond I understand, okay, she took the belt off of Mandy Rose. Had Mandy Rose not went through what she went through, would she have won? Maybe, maybe not. Now we get past that. She's dropped the title, won the title. She still hasn't come up to the main roster. We might have seen her once or twice on the main roster, but we didn't see nothing official. Like you said, a Jay Cargill
Roxanne
going to NXT.
Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade are both in that weird limbo spot to where
Could they have been
yes, you can say
protecting
they're
them?
ready, but at the same time, like we touched on before, because they're more on the petite side, maybe they might be in NXT for life. Maybe.
You got girls like Raquel coming back, Jade, Naya's there.
But again, what's
Rhea.
Roxanne's as compared to the even Kyrie Sane or the Oscar? I think Oscar was a lot bigger than her when they had that match.
And I'm not gonna lie, those girls you just mentioned, Oscar, Io, and Kyrie, they to me I interpret like they strong. Even though they little, they hit they lay them things in.
And nothing against her, but got Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade, or could come off on that Alexa Bliss type of body type, the Kyrie Sane type body type. So it's like, if you want to look realistic, is this the best way to get it going? Now on SmackDown, maybe do a little different story because Bailey, Naomi, Michin, there's more room for them over there, but Raw would be very, very tricky. But again, like I said, those two, as talented as they are, they're in that weird spot to where they should have been called up by now, but also they may be relied upon to be the elder statesmen and workhorses of NXT.
I can see that. My and
So
the reason I bring them up is because if we send Jade down to NXT, I would imagine she has to win the championship down there.
right,
Like, and so I think that we bring her up to protect those females we trying to build down there instead of like have
it's
her run
possible.
roughshod.
It's possible. Like I said, it's a natural again based on what we're accustomed with the black and gold of old. We're accustomed to folks coming in, doing a quick stint there, then come up per usual, but then that stopped. So it's likely that maybe her going straight to the main roster and being kept behind the curtain was to benefit not only herself but to benefit the NXT roster from said squash matches.
Mm, yeah,
Because again,
yeah,
aside from at the time when she would have been down there, Jada Parker wasn't up there yet. Lola Vice wasn't up yet. It would have just been Lash Legend. That would have been of similar size to her. Everyone else, I don't know if you've noticed, they're all roughly the same size.
yeah.
So that's an interesting debate that we can have down the
Nah,
road.
yeah, it sure is because like the whole Jade thing is like I don't know if at this point we're almost Royal Rumble Mania season, so we can get a situation, a lot of
Rumble's in
situations,
4 months.
right? So
Mania's in six.
at this point we could drag out Jade and Bianca 4 more. I'm willing to wait 4 more months if that's gonna lead us to a WrestleMania match between them.
Something better have a Survivor Series then,
I'm willing
or
to
one
wait.
Survivor Series.
I'm willing to wait if that's the case because again, I don't know where we go. They kind of killing. I don't want to say they killing Jade Steam, but in my interpretation,
It's not their fault. There's nothing for them to do.
and it should be something for them to do.
Right. But because they're in this weird limbo gray area, that's not their fault, and it's not really the book's fault. It's just shit happens.
Hmm.
Maybe
But
they had hoped for other situations to end better to create better matchups. Maybe, but here we are.
I don't want to, we could go on and on with, like you said, we could have a whole segment with them, just to move on. I wanted to transition since we talk about tag team championships. One of the things they showed us backstage, Finn Balor asking for his rematch, Damian Priest, and Adam Pearce breaks the news that's not gonna happen. Judgment Day has to defend their
Go
tag
worry
team.
about something else. Yeah, you got some belts to defend.
How you feel about that? I mean, I know you kind of side at it in the text message we had. Like, how do you feel about the tag team tournament we having to determine number one contenders for the Raw Tag Team Championships? Another tournament, baby, and it's on Raw. Another Raw tournaments. I think Raw Monday Night Raw is the home of tournaments.
Now, here's my question with this: are we putting the belts back on Viking, or excuse me, the War Raiders?
Did you feel like they got a good reception tonight?
They got a reception, which is a start.
I think the crowd kind of forgot who they were, or just didn't give
Yeah.
a fuck.
Good. And then who's next week? American Made and AOP?
I think it was a bit odd too. They showed Viking on the screen, and then it changed to War Raiders. Like I don't know if it was. I don't.
Yeah. And they've gone through so many name changes since they signed from New Japan.
When they was in NXT, that's another thing I don't understand. I mean, the Walter to
They
Gunther,
were War
I
Raiders,
understand that,
Viking Raiders, Viking Experience, then back to Viking Raiders. Now they're back to War Raiders.
but they even changed their individual names, didn't they? Like what they did with Ludwig
Uh,
Kaza and
well, prior to being WWE, they were Hanson and Rowe. Now
right.
they're Eric and Ivar.
And I think they went to NXT with Hanson and Rowe, and then down the line, here comes the changes. Like
Yeah, and then it became Eric and Ivar.
Eric and Navo don't sound bad, but neither does Hanson and Rowe. Hanson and Rowe sounds badass to me.
Mm-hmm.
War Machine, I could see maybe have a little. There's a lot of trademarks with War Machine. A lot of like you got to go
The
through.
Marvel character.
Yeah, whoever got it, trademarked, copyright. You got to go through those channels to see if you can do it. But
I mean, there is an indie guy named War Machine, but these two guys have been War Machine for almost 20 years.
yeah, I mean, yeah, if you could make that argument, but I didn't think they got the reception I expected for them to get when they came out.
Uh,
The crowd was kind
well,
of
uh,
like,
well, again, this whole tournament was sprung on us when they returned.
how? All right, so we get the return of the war. What are they? The War Raiders.
Yeah,
That shit sounds so much. Remember that MTV show Room Raiders? That's what that shit give. I'm not gonna lie. I know they've been the Viking Raiders and shit, but War Raiders, Room Raiders, I don't know. It just keep like that's why I gotta pause before I say it. War Raiders, Room Raiders,
okay.
fucking dude,
Would you rather have them go back to the Viking experience?
man. Mm-mm.
Okay then. Okay then.
Mm-mm. That was nasty work. I'm not gonna lie. Anything with the experience in it, except nah, I mean, it got to be a podcast or something. But anything in a group called the Experience in Wrestling, that's just nasty work.
Shout out Jim Cornette experience.
Hmm.
I
Yeah, that's why there's a few experiences in the podcast where I could mess with, but in the wrestling, it got to be a real fire group like the Experience. Like what? I don't know, man. It's just, but for me, what was the more crazier part, and I can't seem to understand why this seems to happen. Otis, why is Otis treated this way? The man had to do a
Since
worm.
Pablo got his ass about Otis, they probably stole scripts all off the goddamn canvas. They haven't used Fallout since they were in Japan. Now, I grant you. Now, I'm probably one of the bigger Otis stands in the country. Willingly, thank you. How you doing? But again, I do agree with the constant star power that Otis has had over the years, even with Vince. What do you want him to do? He's a merch machine. He's charismatic as hell. He's a very athletic big man. He can go. Like, what do you want the man to do?
Bro, he's doing it. He's money. Like,
Do you need Tucker back or do you need Mandy Rose back?
I'm not gonna lie, he's
Are we
so
waiting for
money.
one of them to come back?
Bro, I remember he's so money. I wanted to get a reaction out of him, right? I was in Brooklyn. It was the cameras were off, commercial went, so it's dark, right? And I just yelled, Otis, you suck. And he turned around and gave the mean look. That's money. He's giving the fans
Yeah.
react. He's reacting, and I was just after that because I was like, let me. I was just getting reactions like Charlotte that night. I got one from her. It was just we was like go crazy tonight, right? And I was like, let me mess with Otis, and he was such a champ about it. So I was like, nah, he's in heel and face. He's great, man. And this was clean shaven Otis. This is when he first joined Alpha Academy when he was first messing with Gable. I was like, man, this is like so he was living up to his character, and when I
How many guys on that entire roster that can print money like a Rusev Day, like a CM Punk, like a John Cena? You got one
bro,
in Otis.
the fact that and I would have to fact no Baron Corbin held the United States. The fact that Otis hasn't held WWE Championship Gold to
Nope,
me,
nothing.
and
I
he's a
couldn't think
former
NXT Tag
Mr.
Team
Money
Gold.
in the Bank. He's a former Mr. Money in the Bank winner.
Yep, nothing. Blows my mind. At one point, this man was harder than John Cena, harder than Rey Mysterio, harder than The Shield, harder than AJ Styles. Nothing.
I don't understand. I truly don't understand.
What this man did for the world was cooler than what Scott 2 Hottie ever did for it.
And I'm not trying to disrespect Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed may be a bit bigger than Otis, whatever the case may be. But before,
The
like,
the level of the person that Otis possesses is rarefied air.
it's like, I feel like Otis kind of fell a little victim to that, like that shit that Braun Strowman fell victim to with Omos. Yeah, you're a big guy, but we got somebody bigger now.
But again, it's one of those like the charisma that Otis possesses and is capable of. Only a handful of guys can match his energy. One of them, Michael Cole, reveres to as the greatest of all time. Otis got that it factor. He has that connection with the crowd that very few can do on this roster today. Through the good, the bad, and the goddamn ugly, Otis can get the crowd on his side.
That's what I'm
Whether
saying.
it's him, whether it's him walking around naked around Lana and Mandy Rose, whether it's him just air humping next to Tucker, whether it's the free Otis shit, the American Alpha stuff, the Alpha Academy stuff, you name it.
So what do we do with Otis now?
I hate to sound like broken record, give people what they want. Test on waters, give them a belt, see if it's sustainable. That's all you can do. Worst case, you tried, but you won't know unless you put the belt on them. Anything on them.
a good story. Like I felt they had a good story with the Gable stuff, and like now you
He's
just
plenty of good stories.
now you just see fucking American Made trolling now, smiling in the fucking vignettes and shit, like real American Made.
He's had plenty of good stories. It's just you do nothing afterwards.
Nah, they gave us a good episode of The Flash. They, you know how you got the big bad for the whole season, and then you just have those one-off good episodes. They gave us the one good episode.
What, episode 3 out of 16?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's what they
yeah.
be doing. They can't give us the whole season. All right, this was the oldest season, and I feel like we got that almost with
At least make it a mid-season cliffhanger for fuck's sake. At least.
you understand? Like, damn, like, ah,
And here's the crazy part: those crowds will not give up on Otis. That should be telling enough to that front office. You could give him some fucked up shit. Otis gonna make it work. That crowd is still gonna fucking love him.
again, okay, the type of baby face that he is. We spoke about this the other day. You made Kofi Kingston champion. You're pushing for Xavier Woods to get this Intercontinental
You
Championship
don't got
run.
okay. You don't put the world title, but you can put the IC and US belt on. But still, like
That's what I'm
this
saying though.
man,
Like, come
this
on, we
man
ain't even
could.
there.
I got a hot take, real hot take. You may want to pause up for this one. Otis could potentially rival or get pretty damn close to the coveted Ricky Steamboat levels of babyface.
He
He
could
could
be
get
for
there
love.
if you give him that shot. He gonna run with it.
Listen, when he had Mandy Rose, he was the everyday man. Like
That
the
was
every
the ultimate shot to pull the trigger.
you feel me? Like the everyday man can relate to that. Feeling like Otis and you having a hot girl by your
The
side
average
while
Joe got the baddest girl on the block, living
like
the dream.
living the dream. Everybody was rooting for him. Even if they couldn't relate, they rooted for him. You go, Otis.
Similar to everybody was loving Rusev Day back in the days. It's one of those things where again, you won't know how sustainable it is unless you give it a chance. You can't just cut it because you're worried it may not work. You got to give it that chance. And especially someone like Otis, and because he's been WWE probably what 10 plus years now, and in those 10 years, people have not stopped loving him.
He was in that last black and
He
gold
he
era
he, he
before it
was the
died
tail of the
down.
black and gold. You
Yeah.
had Heavy Machinery, you had American Alpha, you had DIY, you still had FDR. You had the odd couple of what was it, Samoa Joe and Finn Balor. You
Might have
you
had
had
Ascension floating around somewhere.
they might have been there too, or just got fired, one of the two, but they might have been there at least.
Hmm.
But again, NXT loved them. Raw loved them when you called them up. SmackDown loved them when you broke them up. You put them with Chad Gable, which many thought was a death sentence. They still loved him.
So
When you broke
why
him
do
up
you
from Chad
feel
Gable, they wanted him to be that dude.
why do you feel is the need to build? I feel like there was more of a thought process and plan behind pushing Bronson Reed. Like they forced that more than what was happening organically with Otis. Now I get it. We got one as a heel, one as a face. And I love what they doing for Bronson. But I'm
I,
just
I'm
saying,
I'm I'm not quite sure how to put it politely.
I need to hear it.
Bronson either wants it more or he's more cutthroat about his money.
Mm.
He he's more selfish about his career. Otis, he's getting a cool bag, he's getting a cool check, he's getting to do his family, doing whatever he wants. But, but Bronson Reed says, no, I want the crown. I'm gonna show you why I need that crown. I'm gonna prove it. I'm gonna stand on my business. Look at him now. And what will likely be a marquee matchup against one of the, for lack of a better term, pillars of WWE over the last 10 years.
Oh yeah. And we could get
One
into
of
that. We could get into that segment. How'd you like? How'd you feel about that?
that video packet or that one-on-one with Pierce was amazing.
It gave him real superstar vibes. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Yeah, that segment. This is what I started to see in Japan after he beat. Oh no! So real fun fact: before coming to WWE, Bronson Reed, then called Jonah, beat Kazuchika Okada in the fucking G1. Clean. 1, 2, 3. Shocked the whole fucking tournament.
mm,
Pulled up, beat the dude, bounced, got the bag and dipped. Like, you mean to tell me the number one company in Japan let a dude walk in, let the new dude beat their top dog in a one off? Imagine this real quick.
mm-hmm.
Say say the year is 2014, okay? And for lack of a better term, we get well, let's see, a Cole Cabana come in, or no, for statue whatever, maybe a Jay Briscoe, God rest his soul, has a match on live on SmackDown. Jay Briscoe beats him 1, 2, 3, and Jay Briscoe's gone. Not signed, is gone to another company. You know what that does for his star power? So Bronson, he's trying to prove that hey, other folks see something in me. I want to show you what they see in me.
Now that is
I'm
true though.
choosing you over them. Let me show you why I can't be that dude for you guys. Let the man loose.
I'm over here just reading the notes, and I seen that Cody had mentioned he defeated a beast. He already slain the beast.
Oh, we jump into that now?
I was just reading the notes. I was just reading the notes.
But before we get into that, I want to ask your thoughts on Seth's rebuttal because they both want the match. Adam Pierce is gun shy about the match. Where do you stand on this?
I feel like this is what I expect from Seth Rollins. Like he ain't gonna back down from no fight, no matter what type of character he is. Like the first, I mean, the only time we probably seen that was when he was part of the Authority. That was the most Weasel Rollins. But for the last 10 years, we've been seeing him just straight duke it out. So I don't expect nothing less. He want to defend his top spot. So again, that's validity to Bronson Reed is getting that look. This is a top spot look. And I think
And,
for it being a regular match, like, and the way he took out, like, not we got to remember, not too much happened with these guys, but the one thing that did happen, it's already putting so much spotlight on this match. Like, we're not even really getting too much of them, and then we get Seth to come back and attack him, cost him a match against Braun Strowman.
and like Bronson said, it's one for him out of one,
Hmm.
which is true. And then for
That
Seth to come back and say, I need this, despite him being hurt all year, he needs this because he knows after this, or say he gets past this, he's got the ring general.
to me, Seth is really a heel. Like I really look at Seth like a heel, but he do shit to make the. He's like the Joker a little bit. Like people love him, and he knows how to do shit to get the people to love him. But he be doing some real dickhead shit sometimes, and character wise, like when you think about it, he knows how to poke all the right buttons to people, and a natural baby face wouldn't know that because that's not their natural instinct. Their natural
So
instinct wouldn't be to be gritty like that.
you're a DC guy, right?
Hmm.
At this stage in the game, I wouldn't compare him so much to the Joker, more so the Red Hood.
Mm.
Yeah, he knows what's right for business per se, but he is not bashful about getting his hands dirty. Push come to shove.
Yeah, that's where he's at now for sure.
Hmm. And he goes, yeah, he's been banged up or whatever, but essentially he needs us to remind everyone to remind himself that he is still that dude. He's still the architect. He's the visionary. He's the revolutionary. He's the Monday Night Messiah. He is the architect, the Beast Slayer, the King Slayer. Yes,
And also,
we got more than one reference to the Beast incarnate today, folks. He
I
is definitely on the way.
I think this is a nice look too for Rollins coming back because he hasn't been doing much since he's been back except being included into the CM Punk and Drew stuff. So I'm kind of glad that they took him away from that, and now we're getting to see him in a nice competitive matchup until he gets ready for CM Punk again. I like this film right here.
now, now with Seth, do we get Drew McIntyre before or after Punk?
I think we get Seth and Drew before Punk.
So, reason why I'm bringing that up is maybe around Rumble season or maybe Limited Chamber we get Seth and Drew, and then Mania we get Seth and Punk, something like that. Maybe Rumble.
Yep, that's what I'm thinking. We already done burnt out the Drew and Punk stuff, so I'm envisioning Seth and
On
Punk. We could save that for Mania.
honestly, I would not mind if we don't see Seth and Drew until SummerSlam.
Mm. Again, with
Let
the
that
way
Summer
wrestling time has been flying, it used to seem like a long time these prospects, but time has been
because
flying in wrestling time.
also because remember, I don't know if it's gonna be for the title or not, but Priest owes Seth a run back. So
Yeah.
you still got that on the table.
Yep.
Again, you got the inevitable with Gunther. Um, we're likely going to get something with him and Braun. So again, SummerSlam, yeah, Drew can hang out for a little bit. Let him go take a nice little vacation. Treat his wife, wine and dine his wife. Maybe have a baby or two. I don't know. Drew, enjoy yourself. You earned it.
Nah, it's they shaped themselves up to be in a good spot where plan A, plan B. Like you always said, there's always a plan B.
And the way they got their shit set up, you got Plan A that can somehow still gel with Plan P, Q, R, and S.
Facts. I mean, at this stage in the game, yeah, because we was in a time before where, let's say, for example, a character undergoes uh, a character switch, a gimmick change. It's like you want to erase his whole history. Nah, he was never this
Mm-hmm.
person. Nah, now we're finding ways to call back and like even justify why he's who he is now, but we
You
acknowledge
like
that.
Adam Cole the Devil, huh? More of that to come. But continue. I had to. I couldn't let that one slide.
No, but even like with Cody in recent memory, they don't they don't just ignore the fact that he was Stardust. It doesn't get mentioned as much, but
In rare instances, he don't shy away from it either.
mm-hmm.
Every so often, you'll get the cartwheel and the
Yep.
that mirror you.
Nah, we got the civil authority has issued a required monthly. Let me lower that real quick. That's and it's crazy because I already got the TV lowered, but they want to hit me with the shenanigans in the background.
If it ain't me, it's you. You know this.
It's always something. But yeah, you want to get into the Cody stuff?
Man, oh man. Well, first things first. Let's call what it is. Cody was paying respects to the historic city and their history for this sport that we cover frequently and thoroughly enjoy. Paying homage to that. The crowd was loving and respecting that. Our world heavyweight champion, looking dapper as usual, comes out, playing nice initially, but we all sense Gunther had an ace in the hole. Said he wasn't going to say anything negative, but he did find one thing negative about Cody as a whole, despite the respect he has for him. And I don't know how you took it, how you interpreted it, but to me, it seems like it came off to me as that Cody is too nice for his own good. He's a yes man to everybody else. He's always got to be the people pleaser, and that tends to rub people the wrong way. And touched on his follow with Kevin Owens. What I thought was interesting was in Cody's rebuttal. All he said was that what you claim to be my greatest flaw, I also consider to be my greatest strength. After that, he basically agreed with everything Gunther was saying. And then took a few low blows at Gunther's own damn self. So some of y'all still say the baby face. Nuh-uh. I may have been born in that, but I wasn't born last night. That boy ain't no baby face no more.
Even like his demeanor, the body language, like when he first started off his promo, and he's just like giving in that like that shoulder. I just felt like it was something very
He got
like
there's a different posture to him. He's
different
got
posture.
more of that shitting grin, no fucks given face. Folks, he's telling us before our very eyes.
Even as Gunther's walking off, he kind of got like this look on his face. And it's not the same look. Like usually after Cody cuts a promo, he's all cheering up the crowd, hyping them up.
Like they say, the innocence in the eyes is long gone. Hate to break it to y'all, but with the tribal chief back in the picture, with the final boss back in the picture, the goody goody stuff, that ain't his bag no more.
As
He's
for
got
Cody,
himself in a battle that he will not win.
yeah, Cody needs this for his character. For the match itself, I think it did justice. Me seeing these gentlemen back fronted and like face to face because it makes me want to see the matchup even more. At first, I was concerned. I'm like, do I really want to see this matchup burnt like this? Do I want to see? You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of questions I had.
My only concern was with how was Gunther going to address things. Which route was he going to take? Now, I think they dodged the bullet with how bad this could have gotten. This was just enough to where, all right, the foundation is set. We're good because this could have went sloppy real quick if Gunther would have did his usual spiel. But on top of that, when they have their one on one in Saudi, does you know who pull up to get his leg back?
Hmm.
Does the OG pull up? Do we see Bill Goldberg reappear?
I don't know. I feel like
But again, also real quick, what now? Again, we'll get more into to this particular topic later on after we cover Raw. Would you be mad at this hypothetical? Bill Goldberg, Gunther, WrestleMania.
yeah, I'm not with that.
Really?
Bill and Gunther at Mania.
I'm kind of surprised by that, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not
Because
with that.
again, Gunther wants a retirement match or whatever. Again, if Gunther, if Goldberg does a job for Gunther, you don't think that'll work at Mania?
At this stage in the game, I would have to see. Goldberg in a match or two before we put him out there.
That's fair.
Really.
That's fair.
Yeah. We got to see like something. I can't just throw him in the wind after just like, I mean, basically do like what Austin did, because the way that Austin wrestles as a brawler, as to where Goldberg's a powerhouse, and everything he used to do was based off power and speed. Yeah, sure, he was a brawler, he'd throw strikes, but everything was predicated off power and speed with Goldberg. You put him in there with Gunther, it's kind of like, and Gunther
Okay.
looked like he be sandbagging some people. I'm be honest, like when Damian went for
The
that South
man's
of
got a
Heaven,
heavy hand. It's not his fault. God bless him with the hands of fate.
like Damian went for that South of Heaven, and it looked like Gunther barely got off the ground for that
He
shit.
had to muscle him. He had to get some hits into that lift.
Hmm.
Okay, okay. I was curious as to where your mind was at, but that's a little teaser for what's to come later on, for folks. We got something for you later. Don't you worry. But I just want to throw a little feeler out there. I was
Hmm.
curious. But back to what Gunther with Cody. Based on what we saw today, I got Cody winning by some bullshit.
I feel that way too. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like they can't let they WWE hero.
I'm talking ref got his back turned low blow tap bullshit.
Mm,
I don't know how we're gonna get there, but if Cody's gonna win, I don't see it being a clean victory. I see more of a Gunter clean win because Gunter's just so overpowering. But we got what, two, maybe three more Raws beforehand,
mm.
something like that.
I think it's what, 3 weeks now. We got 3 weeks. It was last time we.
Tessator said 2.5. That's
I
what
could
threw me
see
off.
it might be 2.5 because after the conclusion, or he might have been including today as the half. Like I think we got the next 2 Mondays,
At
and
least 2 Mondays.
yeah, at least two
Right.
Mondays. But it'll be 3 Saturdays, if that makes sense for anybody. Like it'll be on the
Yeah,
third
November
Saturday.
2nd. So yeah, so two more Raws.
Yeah, yeah,
Come on, Joe. Don't do this to us. You're doing just fine.
yeah. The half stuff is funny because yeah, we actually had a joke about that earlier. Me and my friends about the half a day. Like, you know what I'm saying? We'll see you in a half. We're like, oh, like what a half? Yeah, he hit us with the 2.5 weeks for today. But
But so
yeah, move. We can move on from that though. But like the next match, I didn't care for so much. And Braun Breaker's a fucking absolute beast.
this one's a weird one, and again, I hate to categorize it as this, but this might have been the piss break spot.
Yeah, I
This is one of
mean,
those things to where the match itself was fine. I'm not gonna say it was ass. It was fine, but respectfully, what does this got to do with Jay and Braun?
the fact that last week when
Kofi and Woods already got their own bullshit going on.
he speared Kofi too last week. That's all.
That's that Tony Khan bullshit. I'm telling you.
After last week's match between Jay and Xavier Woods,
I'm
Braun
yeah, but
gave
listen,
laid waste to
yeah,
everybody. Yeah,
eh,
meh.
caca.
Yes, sir. My brother Murder, man. He put a command up for Razor. We're gonna check this out right now. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Brody. Our podcast is the start of generational wealth. As long as we stay consistent, the sky is the limit. Let's continue to be great and working toward being the best podcast ever. Salute. Appreciate that. Let's get it. We are here, man. Yes, sir. Unwelcome your thoughts off the hip, man. Once again, if y'all got time, right above here, over here, We got the QR code for the off the hip entrance song to our podcast. Y'all go check that out if y'all got time. But yeah, getting back to the action, yeah, poor reason to put Braun Breaker and Kofi Kingston in the match with no build up. Just
They just had a match a couple weeks ago.
did they, if you're not put
They had one. They once had one.
when you putting Braun in the match that like we just had him in bangers, Ilya, Ludwig, Sammy,
Ricochet.
throw him in there. Then we go into this. It's kind of like
Yeah.
this 2 hour period. Them transitioning from USA to Netflix is a weird transition because last week again it felt like a completely reset button. Today we got some justification as to I still felt like it was a poor reasoning to why Braun Breaker chose to like go after Jay again. But at least they did some effort to fucking. But it was like,
It, that was a lot better than this bullshit because this way, much like Roman, Braun's still making this a family affair, which is why I said earlier, Braun, don't you wake up the big dog now.
and we
I don't
get
know if you want to answer to that dude.
it's interesting after that match. Then we get the backstage segment, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So after that match, like we get into this picture right here that we have Jimmy and Jay.
Well, before that, we get Jay just casually walking.
Yup.
He's going back to his dressing area. He opens his door. What does he see? His brother on the couch, and I believe his words were, "Can we talk?"
I was so hyped when I seen that first one that you talking about. Not this picture that I got up here. This is the second time. The first time, like you said, when Jay is fresh out, still from competition from earlier. He's going to his locker room. He opens the door and sees Jimmy there. I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
We're going there already, folks.
They not even slowing down. And we should have expected something though when we got mentions of it on Friday. But like you said, damn, we getting there. We moving. Wheels are moving.
Yeah, we going now. We moving. The whip is in drive. The pedal is through the floorboard.
And I like how they doing things. I don't know what's their intentions with Jay Uso and the Intercontinental Championship. Like, but I do like this idea that one part of the bloodline on SmackDown got the tag team gold, and then you have potentially the other side with the singles gold, like showing that all right, y'all doing y'all thing, but we doing bigger things. We doing original OG things over here.
Well, what I would assume Jimmy's MO is he wants the family back together. We got some family business to do. We need the whole family on board. And like Roman touched on Friday, when those three bulls were running a rough shot, untouchable couldn't do that justice for that family. Think about it. Roman unified the world championships. The Usos unified both tag team championships. Both of them longest reigning champions in their respective divisions.
Mm-hmm.
They essentially they stamped their Hall of Fame card right there. And what Jimmy's trying to get across is at the end of the day, they did all that as a family. Let's see where they go this Friday. Because if Mommy pulling up on SmackDown, You best believe Jay ain't far behind.
And then you know what's like a fire part, but not really. It's not fire for him, for his character, but like just dope in storytelling. That Jay has now found success on his own finally, and just when he thought he's escaped his family, here they come.
Well, I don't know if you remember who told him he was gonna be the dude on Raw. Cody.
Hmm.
So where Roman and Jimmy look at Cody as the enemy, so to speak, Jay could rebut it, be like, "Hey, but he was good to me though."
But now they done worked at this point in the game. Jimmy and Roman already worked with Cody, so Jay's grievances are really what
Roman says the one and done,
right. I
and,
mean, but
and
they.
Jimmy told Cody, "Hey, don't expect no more help after last Saturday."
Hmm. But now we got it's like a family. We know this more family stuff to them. But that's why, for me, I think it's like real dope that they displayed that Jay got now a harder decision to make, right? Like he could just we feel as fans they're gonna reunite, but he still has an option to be like he said tonight. I said no. He already and it's like he said no. He's decided already, but he's gonna get persuaded over time to make this hard decision. And I think like again, it sucks for his character because it's been dope to see him break away from the bloodline, do his own thing, find success, popularity from the crowd. But now he got to make that decision.
I don't think it necessarily affects his singles character, so to speak. My thing, and you know that this is one of my concerns since they split up is, do they bring Sammy back in the fold?
Yeah, I think it's almost hard
As
not to, but
as,
he was
as
really
much as
one
I
of the.
don't want them to, like you said, it might be the move, might be the only move.
It's inevitable. Like I was really watching stuff back. He was in the bloodline before Solo. How you not say he's like how you say OG bloodline without putting him in it?
And that's everyone's reasoning. That's why I'm like, I
And
hate
then
to
like
argue with the facts.
Saeed, I see you out there, man. Appreciate you. Like it's hard to because they chose to accept him as an honorary Oos. The same way the wise man is the wise man and he's part of the bloodline, the honorary Oos is part of the bloodline. By hook or by crook.
Yep.
And I think it's just
Now,
a good
does
way
Jimmy
because they'll
talk to him,
all
or
be
does
on
Paul
page.
talk to him,
What happened?
or does Jimmy talk to him? Does Paul talk to him, or does Roman talk to him?
I think
Because each one would have a different level of significance.
I think Jimmy and Sammy's gonna talk to Jay and come
No,
through
I'm
to him.
saying, no, I'm saying, which one of those three talks to Sammy first?
I think it'll be a situation like right now, like what I'm saying. Sammy's gonna see the bigger picture for everything involved, for all of them. And he's gonna be like, nah, I think your brother's right, Jay. And then Jay might like, what? You know what I'm saying, type of thing. And then that'll bring Sammy in the because one thing I feel like we've almost seen it was the bloodline on the whole page, but we never really seen the bloodline on the whole page, including Sammy. Like we always seen Roman after they was all cool and they had that Uzi moment, we seen the trial of Sami Zayn. We started seeing like they started questioning him and making him do things to Kevin Owens. The direction of this bloodline, that's why I wouldn't mind seeing Sammy. It's like this is the beloved bloodline now. This is different. You know what I'm saying?
Because if Sam's gonna get put back in the fold, then we will be getting another Sammy KO match.
Yep. Especially with the way Kevin Owens been acting. Yep.
Hmm.
Okay. Amethyst said, I think Roman approaches Sammy.
That would be the most interesting one to me, honestly, because similar to how Jimmy approached Jay, Sammy will have a talk with either Cody or Jay, whatever, and Roman will be. It'll be one of those things where the chair's facing that back wall, the door closes, the chair turns around, and it's Roman, and then the camera cuts to break. Type deals. We don't know what's said. It's just all we know is the door closes, and as the door closes, Roman reveals his face.
Mm.
I can also see an instance where Sammy walks into a room, similar scenario, but instead of Sammy closing the door, we learn after as they pan the camera around after Roman turns, we see Sammy. We see Heyman behind Sammy's shoulder.
You said who?
So
Heyman.
yeah, so say again, similar situation before. As we see a door close, Roman turns around. Roman turns around. The camera does a little 180 pan to Sammy, but as the camera turns to Sammy, we see that Paul Heyman closed the door, not Sami Zayn.
Mm.
Again, there's a lot they can do with this, but as much as I was against Sammy being back in the fold, y'all were right. It's probably what's best for the story overall, as
Yeah,
far as reuniting the brothers together.
yeah. Because when you go back and look at a lot of it before, if we can accept Jay and Sammy being cool now, we also got to remember Jimmy was the one that found Sami Zayn funny, and Jay
That's
wasn't
true.
fucking with Jay. Yeah, Jay wasn't fucking with Sammy like that.
That is
So,
true.
so how can we accept that, but not accept like Sammy saying nah? Like listen to Jimmy. Me and Jimmy really ain't had no issues like that.
You ready to dive down this rabbit hole with me?
Hmm.
Okay, so once this all happens, Cody is seeing all this pan out. Imagine the frustration it will cause Cody knowing that Jay and Sammy are back on the side of Roman. And eventually Roman can chip turf to Cody saying, "Hey, I'm a chief without a tribe. My family is back together. Not my tribe, my family." That will tear Cody apart. I'm
Yeah,
getting goosebumps just thinking about it.
and I hate to say it too. It's like Sammy played a critical part in keeping the bloodline storyline fresh at that moment in time.
He was there for the majority of that chapter, if I'm not mistaken.
From the live audience, for sure, that I can remember when the live
Well
audience,
over half of it at least, but definitely the majority.
yeah,
Whether being on the other side of enemy lines or fighting alongside him.
yep.
To that infamous Survivor Series where he turns on Kevin.
That's why the whole Jey Uso, like again, the dynamics of how, like this Jimmy right here, this Jimmy that's taking initiative, that's calling his own plays. We've seen glimpses of this when he was trying to call plays and Roman was mad at him. We've
He's
seen
finally a
this.
free spirit.
Yes, he could make the right calls now. Like he been making the right calls. It's just he was always looked at like a fool for making them.
And now Roman and Jimmy could try to say, hey, you could do that. Your family will have your back, but we want to be a family again. They're gonna tug on the strings, folks. Be careful. Have the clinics on standby when you see our travel chief hit the camera. And either Roman does a yeet or they embrace. You will likely see Paul Heyman in the background crying his heart out.
He's definitely got to do one yeet, right? Like for the one time.
Can you imagine if Roman does the yeet?
He got to. He already said no yeet. So I can imagine when it comes
That
time,
that that crowd will fucking explode. He's gonna
WrestleMania.
do that.
And we
Michael
thinking
Cole's gonna
2
have one
years.
of those oh my god moments.
We talking 2 years ahead. Yeah, I think like everything could be drawn out. That's why at this point I'm not worried about rushing. Like
Uh,
we
uh,
already in
uh,
October. I'm not
and
worried
with
about
this, with
rushing.
all due respect, I think a triple threat is the worst case scenario.
I'm gonna fall out.
But real quick, no, but AC, what's your thoughts on the possible triple threat between Rock, Roman, and Cody?
There's times when I'm split on it. I feel like they can really do some cool, unpredictable, could set the tone for years to come shit with what they do in that match if it get there. To be honest,
I, I just don't see it because Rock has essentially two different issues with each respective gentleman, but also it's like I mean, if I'm Rock, respectfully, do you want both of them to outwork you? And on top of that, what if, like we said all along, where there's a quote unquote a rogue third chapter of the bloodline, like you may as well make it a fatal four way, add Solo or Jacob, and then on top of that, like I mean, a triple threat won't benefit anybody. It'll just complicate things. Whether you do it at this year's Mania, next year's, any other the big four on top of that, I don't see that how that benefits. And of that too, like I don't see if Rock is to beat Cody hypothetically, I don't see him being a champion 3 months. Like again, like no matter how they do it, things are gonna get complicated. Folks are most definitely gonna hate Rock in the worst way possible, and it kind of resets all the progress they've done over the last 4.5, 5 years with everything. It's that one hard reset that nobody wants to see. Now, if you do the matches separately, it's a whole different encounter. But as a triple threat, uh, if you were going to do a triple threat, then you should have done it this past Mania instead of the tag team match. Other than that, that was your one shot. Or maybe 39 in LA, one of the two. Not it's too late for it now.
I wouldn't say at this Mania though. If they went, I'd say at 42. Only because at this point right now, I think they need to get the one ons. Like somebody got to settle the score. It got to be either the trilogy, whether it's for the championship or not, or it got to be Rock and Roman
Oh,
or Rock and
we're,
Cody.
we're definitely getting all three, but as singles matches, we're going to get Rock Roman one. We're going to get Cody Rock 1-on-1. We're going to get Cody Roman three. We're going to get all those matches, but we don't need to see a triple threat out of them. If you were going to do it, it should have been this past Mania in Philly, or it should have been in LA at 39. It's too late for the triple threat now, in my opinion. Sorry to disappoint you guys, but I said what I said.
Mm, Rock being realistically champion for a year won't happen.
My next question is, what to do with the Rock's championship belt when he runs with Cody and or Rock, respectively, 1-on-1? Is that belt going to be on the line? We asked that at the Hall of Fame ceremony. We have yet to get confirmation. The People's Championship bestowed on him by the widow of the legendary Muhammad Ali.
I would like to see it defended only as so somebody can say I took this from you, but going forward, I wouldn't want to see that defended on a regular.
So similar to how UFC does the BMF belt, essentially.
Yeah, you can say that, or like let's say there's a scenario where The Rock wins the heavyweight championship, and he's like, you know what? I don't want this championship. This is what I'm walking around with as the championship. Similar to what like Austin did with his Broken Skull championship.
Or you mean how Rock changed the belt in 2012 when he won the world championship?
Yep, yep. Similar to that, and then somebody wins that belt off him, and then changes it to something else.
So now New Japan's been doing that a lot lately with their junior tag team belts, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, because in the end, all right. So essentially, with the belt Cody got, that's been the same design for a minute. So we can go away with that temporarily. Have the Rock's championship, which we got introduced with, like you said, at the Hall of Fame. So it's not as new, like we've seen it until we get something that's like they either bring back the winged eagle or they go a different direction.
And according to Cody, the Winged Eagle's still in the works.
So if they could find like yeah, to me that'd be it right there. You have the Rock win temporarily the heavyweight championship. Nah, I don't want this. Like, yeah, this is the heavyweight championship, but now officially the People's Championship. This is the heavyweight.
The only way I will accept is if he pulls the Medusa and puts the belt in the garbage can.
I mean, that's what it would almost have to be. Just
And then he's got to replicate that line that he put in that one IG promo. Off is a place you can fuck.
and then that could be a shot. That's also if he throws the belt in the champ in the garbage, that's a shot towards everything Roman has accomplished because that was the commemorative title
Hmm.
designed for what Roman has accomplished.
This is true.
Which is again why I'm surprised that Cody's allowed to walk around with it. One, and when we go back to the website, they have two. They have
They got the old render.
yeah, they have Cody listed as two championships: the Universal and the WWE champion.
Yep.
So it's to me that championship that Cody holds, it's a bit in a strange spot, and I don't know if it's by design or if I'm thinking too much into it. But for me, it's in a weird spot. He shouldn't be holding that championship. Not saying
It's
he
most
shouldn't be
definitely by
champion.
design, and you know it.
Yeah, like I'm not saying he shouldn't be the champion. What I'm saying is he shouldn't be holding that belt. Once Roman lost that, they should have
Go back to the black strap.
yeah reinstated the old WWE and but that was a commemorative title handed from Triple H to Roman so that he doesn't got to walk around with them two belts anymore. But yeah, I mean.
Mammoth has got me in tears right now. That, 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 that's hilarious. And honestly, I can see Triple H doing that. But here's my problem with the first part. Like I've been saying for months, like I've been saying, especially with this show, Cody is already drifting down the dark side. He's been doing that for some time now. So whatever you do with The Rock, you gotta do it. You gotta hear him and do it, or it will be too late for that too. Now Roman, on the other hand, I mean, again, Cody's gonna have to be the heel for that one because, as we saw during Bad Blood, Cody ain't matching that pop that Roman's getting, even with an HBCU band in Atlanta. That ambiance, that aura, whatever it's called, that mistake that Roman has, Cody cannot match it. Not even in his hometown. So Cody's got to eat the dirt.
Yeah. I mean, what else we had? Just to move on, go
We
on
had
with the
the.
rest
I think up next was the highly anticipated one-on-one match between the Miz and R-Truth.
Oh, brother.
Now I wasn't mad at this, to be honest, and I wasn't mad at it for these reasons. One, I mean, when R-Truth's rapping, whatever, you cannot get hype about it. But also, what I thought was very interesting was right before. I thought it was very interesting how the Final Testament came out just as we saw the QR code from Wyatt Six.
Mm-hmm.
The timing on that was a little bit too like, wait a minute. So Miz could be the scapegoat, which gets us to Final Testament versus Wyatt Six, which, in all honesty, Bo Dallas carrying across trading promos would be very entertaining if you let them just go balls to the wall. That could you might have something there, but it's one of as easy as it could be done. It's just easy to mess that up. So again, let's see how they get across that. But the match was the afterbirth, so to speak. I'm intrigued into that.
It's just, what the fuck are we doing? Like,
Well, like we said, we're trying to see who
we might as
Wyatt
well
Six
just
is going to
fucking paint somebody up as a clown and just bring back Doink the Clown vibes or some shit.
go.
Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, I don't understand. Hold on, I gotta take this part. We off day segment, man. Like, I just want to know what the fuck are we doing?
like
Like,
like we said months ago, like after the American made stuff, what's next for Wyatt Six? Well, we wanted them versus Final Testament. Well, we're gonna get that.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, everything that they've done after that has made me like, I'm not looking forward to nothing. I don't have no anticipation because they're not doing anything except QR
Well,
codes again.
Again, that's kind of where we had this debate earlier. It's like after the American made stuff, do you want them to be treated like an actual faction or simply just a random novelty gimmick just to get the crowd hype?
In the beginning stages, if they was gonna bring them out sparingly, I was okay with it. But the way that they bring them out almost on a week to week basis, had big key matches on the Raw with Gable and Howdy just on Raw.
I won't call it a big match. Yeah, they're definitely active, but like we said, like
I mean, they're blow off matches on the Raw.
this was the big concern from Jump Street. So again, how serious do you want them to be? Either have one and duns or
It was supposed to
use
be a
them
big.
regularly.
It was supposed to be Uncle Howdy's in ring debut to blow off the feud with Gable. And look, like you said, it wasn't a big key That's telling in itself. Like, it didn't feel that way, and that was his debut match. The more impressive part is Gacy and yeah, the why yeah, but I'm sorry, like I need to see it a little bit more, or at least have it presented to feel more serious.
So
Like,
with that being said, if they can't get nothing going with Final Testament, then unfortunately this novelty tribute may be a wash.
I mean, all right, we would have to go back and really see who the Wyatt family, like Bray's rendition of it. Who did they come in and feud with? Like, I know that.
I'll tell you out the gates, Daniel Bryan and Kane, the Shield, the New Day, John Cena, they came out for the top dogs out the gate.
This isn't giving, even the Ministry of Darkness. You go back to Minister when Undertaker was running his faction. Any of these darker groups, eh, it works well when it's in a top program. It's just thrown in the middle of the like shuffle like this. Yeah, they had the main event match, which I felt like in that moment in time I enjoyed it. I was hyped for it. But now we're past that, right? We're here now. October 15th now. Um, I feel like what are they what's you know?
And this was the prime concern that we had when we learned that this faction was going to be a real thing. This is what we tried to warn you folks about. Unfortunately,
And then
here we are.
we're gonna see some inclusion because they just dropped the Bray Wyatt pack in WWE, the Let Him In pack on
Bray
2K.
Wyatt and Wyatt Six.
Yep. So, man,
But again, this is unfortunately this is what we warned you guys about. A very plausible likelihood. Hopefully, this comes out fine. I again, as crazy as both gentlemen are, I expect a lot out of them, but we'll see.
yeah, and I'm not interested. I'm gonna be the only thing that could be compelling is the Final Testament. If they even get into a program with the Miz, I am gonna be. And
Well,
again, I said I could see it
again,
because
there'll probably be something with this very briefly, but all signs will likely lead to Final Testament and Wyatt Six.
Bo was part of the Miz Taraj, so that's why I don't see it too far fetched with that.
If that's all that comes out of this, I don't know.
I mean, I don't. I'm gonna be honest. I still don't see the point of what came out of Gable. He looks to be doing good. They doing well.
What really fucked that up was him basically left for dead after the debut. That's what really ruined everything.
That's crazy. This is
It's a
Amethyst.
shame.
We appreciate you, and this the opinion of the people.
It's a shame because of what they could have been. But then again, we don't know their actual plans for it. But like, again, many of us being fans of Bray's creative mind and the potential that Bo Dallas had as an in-ring talent from his NXT singles days, the
Hmm.
bar was going to set very high. But we also, many of us knew that again, because this being a tribute act, it was bound to plateau eventually. But we didn't think it'd plateau this low off the bar. Now, again, I would love to be wrong in this. I would very much love to be wrong, but
But again, I'm gonna say what I said going into this. Remember when we before they made their debut, and we were just talking about things like this that you said about the concerns. I said people weren't even over the top with the whole fiend stuff, with some of the stuff with Uncle Howdy. People were kind of like on the gates and on the fences with those things. Like it was a hard
because
sell.
and there was concerns with some of the bullshit. Is this Bray thinking? This is Vince's thinking. Turns out a little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
Now, both are equally responsible. Now, Amethyst Bliss has announced that she does plan on returning, and she has been noted to be very close into the situation. My issue with this is how do you bring her back in without bringing Braun Strowman back in, who seems to want no business with this? And again, say Bliss comes back and without Braun, then what?
I think Braun
We're,
Strowman needs to be in that. Yeah, he needs to. Even though, like you just say, he don't wants to be in there, but
but,
he out.
but again,
He's
say
always been the
him and
one.
say him and Bliss go back, then what?
You will hopefully have what is now a former world heavyweight champion and a former, well, two women's former heavyweight champions in your group.
Bo Dallas is a former NXT champion.
Nah, nah,
I'm, I'm just reading
bro.
facts.
Universal champion Braun Strowman was
Mm. Also, real fun fact: you remember that belt he won in Saudi Arabia? That green belt?
the Royal Rumble, the greatest.
Yeah. So allegedly, if that belt is canon, he will have passed Roman Reigns as the longest reigning champion in WWE
The
by
greatest,
150 days at the time of this recording.
the greatest Royal Rumble, the greatest for Titus O'Neil, the greatest Royal Stumble.
Shane
Shout out to
McMahon, the
Titus. I
best in
love
the
you,
world.
Titus. My God, is Braun
But,
injured right now?
yeah, Braun tore his groin in that last Monster Standing match.
Unfortunate.
He tore his groin early in the match, apparently. That could have been the cause for the audible too, but still, it's like again, say you have Braun and Bliss back in. I'm sorry, I don't see much more
Mm.
because again, like my heart just says that this is nothing more than just a tribute band. Nothing wrong with that, but
I don't think his
again,
title is recognized.
well, it's not. But some folks saying that if they chose to recognize it, then if you do the math, he
It's,
smokes Roman's
yeah.
recent title reign.
And it's a little tongue in cheek. Like, fuck is the point of introducing championships that are not gonna get? I mean, I just always thought championships were defended, not won and placed on the side.
I'm glad you brought that up. So I did a little research as far as this belt that Cody and Gunther and Liv and Nia are competing for. That crown jewel belt or something, whatever, will only be defended at the Saudi shows. Nowhere else.
So theoretically, somebody could win this championship this year, go win next year without even having the
And
other belt.
they will, yeah, they will only have to defend it at the Saudi shows. So I mean that could put some emphasis on the Saudi shows, but we'll see. Would you want to walk around with a belt that looks like an oversized pinky ring?
Honestly, as a heel that I am, I'd have Paul Heyman, the wise man, walk around with it.
The belt that's legitimately $1 million belt, 10 pounds of gold, allegedly, 50 carats worth of diamonds, which is about 700 grand by itself.
Nah, that's a big ass belt, though. I'm gonna be honest, like that's a big belt.
And apparently, the men and women's belt are the same sizes.
Ridiculous.
Only Liv can hoist that big ass belt up. She be dragging the shit out of it. That's probably why she got Raquel back.
Man,
But I know after the Miz Truth Final Testament segment, we then finally got to our main event of the evening.
Which the actual match I didn't care for except the closing moments of the show.
I thought the match was interesting. I mean, like I was more intrigued with. I think this is because this is the first time Tiffany has opened and closed a show, so that's what I was more focused on. Like, seeing how she's going to react to it and adapt to that. Because if she's going to be something for the future, all right, girl, here's your first test.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought her and Rhea had some stuff. Uh, I thought Raquel power bombing Liv out to the ring onto Tiffany and Rhea was utterly insane.
Nah, it was fire.
Especially with Liv laughing like almost like let's do that again type shit.
Right.
How do you feel about Raquel's glasses walking out with Liv?
You said how what?
Did you see the glasses she was wearing?
Nah.
Kind of like these, but like a bright ass like red frame, like lenses and shit like that.
Nah,
Oh,
I missed out.
you got to find that visual. It was hilarious.
Nah, I
But
was
the
trying to
match was
see.
fine.
I was trying to see if I could find one right here on Twitter, but I might have to
But,
go.
but I thought the match was fine. Naya coming out was a little anticlimactic, but I was waiting for Dom to pull up. Ain't
Mm.
seen him all night. It was only fitting as Sucio rears his mullet. Speaking of Dirty Dom, how you feel about his new shirt?
Oh, the Latino cheat.
What? Yeah, the Eddie Guerrero influence shirt.
I thought it was clever. It was fire. I mean, they might as well keep it going, right? They already did the other one. The I'm your papi, I'm your mommy. They already did one. Don't stop now.
What they do is they got to get that one that he had, that little Scarface looking one, the white and
Hmm.
black.
Oh
You need
yeah,
that one next,
yeah, that one to go hard. I'm not gonna lie. I remember that. That'd go hard right there.
and just have the silhouette and just have the mustache and the mullet. That's all you need.
Hmm. That was probably one of the last Eddie shirts, right? The black and white joint.
It was that one, and then I think the I'm Your Poppy one was the last one.
Okay, okay. Yeah, he go down that bag. That'll be fire. But for yeah, again, like I was said it early in the show, for me when I watched the last few minutes, it left me wanting more. It ended like how a SmackDown would end with Nia and if they was to end the show with Nia and Tiffy, and that's what I felt like I got. Like I wanted a third hour.
And then because we reached the third hour, I was thoroughly pleased that they left me wanting more.
Okay.
Because like I said, if you have a chance to rewatch the show, they threw a couple curveballs here and there, and then hopefully all these curveballs are on Hulu, wherever whoever's going to keep doing the replays and all that. But this is one of those episodes where if you have a chance to rewatch it, it's a fun rewatch
We
because
get
then you can
the
go hunt for the Easter eggs.
we get the fake little teasing for the cash in. You know what I'm saying? And I think honestly, I don't like to play real life politics or anything, but is it her fiance, her husband? I'm not sure where they at with it, but I'm pretty sure her fiance is something. Ludwig is on Raw. They could
Yeah,
potentially move
yeah,
her
like I
over.
said earlier, like as I'm saying, like her man's on Raw. So again, if they chose to go down that mixed tag challenge type bullshit again, well, you got
Mhm.
another pairing right there.
Mhm. Yeah, so I could definitely see them bringing her over to Raw. I wouldn't be mad at that either. It'd be fresh for Raw.
Mm-hmm. That's it. This all could have been a test for Netflix for all we know.
I can't wait to SmackDown because now I'm more interested to see the dialogue between. Well, I feel like I know where it's gonna head, but it's one thing to feel where you think it's gonna head, and then hear it come out the horse's mouth, right? So I want to see what
Roman is
Roman.
definitely gonna be
Yes.
like, why'd you talk to him?
Yep. But we know what Jay's gonna say. We know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like again though, I can't wait till they get that moment and Jimmy gotta remind him, we need help. We need help.
And I told you, I know one dude that can help us out.
Hmm.
And like I said, whether we get a hug or whether Roman does the coveted yeet, that's going to be a moment. It's going to be a damn good moment. But all in all, Raw was entertaining. Again, like I said, it was much better than last week's. They got a lot of the bugs out, but they definitely adopted the SmackDown formula of just leaving folks wanting more. But let's see what next week holds.
Definitely. I can't wait to see what type of like storyline arcs they're gonna continue to, develop, see where they go. Just a sidebar too. Xavier Woods, we just gonna abandon. He, I mean, all right, what I mean, yeah, chat. We don't care about Xavier no more. He's just helping Kofi Kingston, like
Oh,
even get beat up for it. Could that play into something? Like, damn, Kofi, you even getting me beat up? Like,
I'm very curious to see what happens with that.
yes, sir. Son, come on. It be the little things sometimes, like, cause some of the things we be calling for, y'all want to give it to us on a crazier scale. And then some of the simple things that should just let this person eat one time. It's like y'all don't take us there for what I don't understand for what reason.
Like I said, if it was easy, everybody be doing it.
But it's there though. It's there.
I know.
This is what I was asking with the Bronson Reed situation. Like to a like again, I like to use my wifey as the perfect example, right? She know who these wrestlers are. She's been watching the product for years now. But some of these dudes, she's like, what's so special about him? And Bronson Reed was one of those cases. And now she's like seeing, okay, they put him, but like all these other people that we done mentioned, the Otises, the Xaviers, she was just as invested into them as we were. But like also to your point, maybe the negotiation tables are different.
Some folks a little more cutthroat than the others.
And also to another point you made, Bronson Reed did leave and make a name for himself as where some were just getting hired back off. Like I don't want to say not doing nothing, but they didn't really make a splash. They just got released and got rehired and you know things
Like I
like
said,
that.
I don't know. I don't know of many recent releases, or the only thing that I can think of that would be remotely similar to this would be Brock going to New Japan and having the rematch with Kurt Angle and it being better than WrestleMania 19. Bronson Reed getting fired by Vince, going to Japan, taking out the number one guy in Japan in the most grueling tournament in the world, only to come back instantly almost. But again, like if they push him properly, I expect big things out of him. How you feeling?
I mean, like it's all politics, and I gotta understand that it's also what we spoke about a couple days. I think when we saw the AEW event, some people, not everybody can hold the championship at the same time. Some people make well with what they're given, and some people find excuses and point across the room as to why They're not given opportunity, but they actually are.
You were way too nice about that.
That's all I can say. Just to sum it up, right? Just to sum it up for the good folks out there.
You was
That's
way too polite about that. No,
had to give
no, no,
like
no wonder Tony Khan jumped on this weekend.
a little soliloquy for them. You know what I'm saying? Send them out on a good note. Roman could be in Philadelphia next week because that's the city he lost the title in. They could play into that.
Amethyst is cooking. You are not playing tonight. That's it. We could see a tribal chief appearance. Remember, the wise man is quite Philly in them neck of the woods too.
I'm interested what they gonna do in Brooklyn now. I'm gonna be honest. I'm interested to see. I'm still not going, but
That might be sold out, but not to be honest.
yeah, I was surprised that there was still seats available when I looked. I just looked a few days ago, like 3 days ago on Friday when last SmackDown happened. I looked. I'm like, hold on. Had to look right after. Like, let me see what this shit about. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot that could happen, and I'm here for it. I'm waiting for it. Well, we got a lot in the other news before we bring y'all some sidebar topics that we had. We just want to take a look into what we got. Do you know any information on what we got going on for NXT tomorrow? What they got planned for their show tomorrow? Let me see if I can get
Um,
that up over here. See if they got any NXT news on WWE.
I assume we're gonna get more fallout regarding what was it this a follow up from Obafemi losing the North American Championship. Tomorrow was also the in ring debut of Stephanie Vacour. We're also getting Ora Menta versus Lexus King and Ridge Holland versus Riley Osborne. So a battle within the gentlemen of Chase U.
I'm surprised that um like
Oh,
after that program, I'm surprised Rich Holland don't come up and have something with Sheamus.
we are also getting Lola Vice versus Nikita Lyons, and this is one that I assume is not the can't miss TV. And number one contenders match for the NXT Championship. Ethan Page, Wesley. Man, who's this third man? Look at Javon Evans. This might be Javon Evans getting a shot at the gold.
Mm. I mean, we high on the kid.
But also tomorrow will be the return of the Halloween Havoc wheel.
Okay, so it starts. The road to Halloween
Mm,
Havoc starts.
mm. Oh no, that's Trick wins in the one match. My bad. I've got Trick at the low goatee.
Oh, that was Trick in the triple threat.
Yeah, so Trick, Wes, and Ethan Page. Oh no, Ethan Trick. Never know who's this man.
Who is this
Why
man?
am
What
yeah,
picture you
who is
looking
this
at?
man?
What picture you looking at?
It's
I'm on
basically
WWE.com. They're not showing me nothing over
I'm
there.
on NXT's Twitter.
Okay, might
Yeah,
have to follow.
I'm sending you the photo right now. I'm leaning towards this Javon Evans, but I could be wrong. You should be getting it any second now.
Oh yeah, that might be. Yeah, that might be Javon Evans right there.
That's going to be a match, especially Javon coming off that near perfect outing against Randy Orton last week. I
Mm.
say near perfect because let's say young buck got a little too big for his britches there, trying to Jump into that RKO.
I'm interested to see Stephanie Vaquer's debut.
Also, this will be Nikita Lyons' first match back as well. Her and Lola gonna tear that house down.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what that's gonna be like. All of them, Nikita and Lola should be dope. Tony D'Angelo's gonna throw a celebration, should be entertaining.
I expect Obafemi to try to demand a look back.
Mm. I'm gonna be honest, like that triple threat is gonna cook, but I just see Ethan Page like I feel like they the one he's pushing right now over there.
And him and Trick have pretty damn good chemistry.
Yeah, they still got unsettled. In my opinion, they have unsettled score to settle.
Yeah, definitely unfinished business.
Yep. Like if I'm not mistaken, Ethan Page never really got his clean run back after losing the championship to him. It's always been other stuff in the middle. Brooklyn is Roman's favorite city. He said Brooklyn. It's always fun. 'Cause I live in New York, so I usually attend both shows, the Garden and Brooklyn. His energy definitely be on 100. Not gonna lie.
Is it gonna be at Barclays?
On the 25th, yeah, it's gonna be in Brooklyn. A SmackDown.
No, but Barclays the only venue in Brooklyn.
Yep.
Oh,
Yo, okay, so my brother, I see you out there, man. Appreciate you tapping in. We got the cameras on. I just, I had to do some things. I'm over here looking up information on the fly. I don't want y'all to see me with my head down over here looking at my
we're
phone.
doing
So
the
I just,
same thing.
yep.
I'm trying to find all the dirt right now.
Yeah, I'm on the Twitter right now, searching through the post and all of that.
I'm checking the Twitter. I'm checking the Ticketmaster. I'm checking everything.
Oh yeah, we got some sidebar shit to talk about too. I just looked at some shit on Twitter over here. Oh yeah. Yeah, we gonna get to that at the conclusion of this
Mhm.
podcast, Chad. So, keep your eyes peeled because at the conclusion of this podcast, me and Ray's are gonna do some extra special work, stay a little extra and record something else. So y'all stay tuned for the post content. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, we're gonna be talking about some things that the community talking about, some information that's put out there pertaining to shows, upcoming shows, and thoughts of what's going on.
And a little sneak peek into what we could possibly expect going into 2025.
Go Mets, man. Go Mets. Had to split the series. I got a hot take. What if Jimmy talks to Rhea to talk to Jay?
That'd be kind of funny.
It would be funny. I still think it's gonna be like a weird, funny moment where Sammy's included and Sammy's gonna give him that look like listen to your brother. Like Sammy's that fake voice of reason sometimes too. Like he's the conspiracy man, the voice of the reason sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Sammy
I can
might
see
just
Rhea being more the voice of reason more than Sammy because Sammy was dealing with the same bullshit that Jay was
oh
when they
of
got booted
course.
out.
Oh, of course. We're not gonna not listen to mommy. Come on. Who in their
Yeah,
right mind is not gonna listen to mommy?
but hear
She's
me out.
always the perfect get through. I agree with y'all wholeheartedly. I definitely do. I just think if we want to see Sammy in the fold, that'll be the way we include him. As far as that, Rhea is definitely always a fucking plausible go to with that shit. Hell yeah.
But as Liv put it, she's who took Dom away from her daddy.
hmm
So how much can you trust her? We shall see. Everyone's loyalty getting put to the test with this family business.
Nah, I agree with that for sure. Okay,
I
I'm
mean,
thinking about
sure.
hmm
For all we know, Rikishi may not be fucking with mommy just yet.
True.
and I'm gonna get into that too.
Yeah, I actually I like to see. I want to hear his thoughts on this little segment tonight between his sons, the brothers, the twins.
Because I just said too, but he definitely had some words to say this weekend. A lot of words.
I mean, listen, as a parent, I don't knock him. As for the business wise, I told you what I thought he does, and he's a
Oh, this
business.
thing got nothing to do with that. It's about something similar but a little bit different.
Yeah, like Keisha's gonna stir the pot, man. He knows he got to drive in views, right? Like we spoke
But hold
about
on,
it
no. You haven't heard his recent take?
on who was it on somebody that on was it on Cornet or
No. Rikishi's take was so wild, it got folks to side with Ryback.
that's crazy.
But again, folks, a little teaser what's to come.
It was
This
Russo,
was
right? Yeah,
wild.
it was
Yeah,
Russo. Yeah.
he said, "Keep my son's name out your fucking mouth. Run
Yeah,
my fade."
yeah.
But Ryback chimed in on something. Vince basically said, "Well, I respect what y'all trying to say, but let me tell you where I'm coming from."
But my thing is this: it's no different to me than what Haku was doing when you putting stain on his family and he was holding it down.
Exactly.
It's no different. It's just because we on the grandest stage, they want him to hold it down. Like, yo, chill, chill. WWE got this. Chill, Keish. Chill, Big Keish. You're gonna lose Jay Uso's chance. Like, listen, WWE is smart. Nothing LeVar Ball could say is gonna hurt Lonzo Ball. He's in the league right now. Let Lonzo be on his LeVar Ball shit. You know what I'm saying? Let Keys be a good father and politic for his son and be mad. And I understand it though, cause it's like it seems salty. It seems like you don't know what like it seems like for where he came from. Like, damn, why you wilding? Like, yo, like
But
it
Rikishi
sounds.
was talking about, or Russo was talking about how, oh, why is he crying over the belt? He's crying over a whole bunch of nothing. He's a TV star. He's crying over a prop.
But it's the you see what Russo failed to mention, and it's always them blanket statements. It's the perks that come with being a championship in this industry. It's the notoriety that you get. It's the respect that you get from your peers for reaching such a level.
But remember, Russo ain't from that side of the crib. He's from the other part. He's from the media. He's from the Jerry Springer world, the Howard Stern
Yeah,
world, where but all in his mind, all that shit don't mean anything because all that shit just means a TV rating, nothing more, nothing less.
yeah. You when you win that championship and you hear the bell go, I mean, I wish I can feel that feeling, but I can only imagine if I was in that position. The culmination of my whole career is flashing in my like I'm thinking about the championship. Yes, yeah, I wonder, but I'm thinking about what got me here in a whole flash, if that makes sense.
And like we touched on when Jay won, he is the fifth person in his family to hold this championship. That's history right there.
And that's another thing. Not yeah, there's some people that probably held the belt for 10 days or whatever, but not even with that, not everybody gets to come up into the WWE and hold the championship.
Yeah, and it's where you say your family has everyone in your family, mostly everyone in your family has held this championship.
Now you can finally, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like
Because
it's
again, look at when Cody beat Nick Aldis, him and Dusty are the only father son duo to hold the 10 pounds of gold.
yes.
The
That's the best
only
way to put
father
it.
son.
That's the best way to put it too. Even right, if let's say if Jay was working us with that reaction, and that's truly not how he felt, and like yeah, it's a real it makes it wants us to feel real. Now, if it's a genuine and he's really emotional from what he's been through in his life, he has every right to feel
Hmm.
emotional.
He busted his ass for almost 20 years. Folks didn't think he can make it on his own. He put the work in. He
Yeah,
busted his ass and then some. Now he's in a rare gear that folks hope would be there, and it's there and then some. And this man is eating, and now he's about to be right back in the number one story in the whole goddamn company. Amethyst, we was all crying when he won.
Yeah, I was in my living room jumping there, and
I
it,
got choked up when Jimmy and Roman hugged that bad blood.
yeah, I was on my feet for that too. Yeah, it's very few things that get me off my feet. It's always a good sports moment and a good moment being told in wrestling. And those two things get me off my feet. It gets me out my seat. I don't just be at the edge of my seat. I'm out my seat.
And as fans, we are spoiled because in certain moments, whether it's WWE, AEW, New Japan, TNA, whatever, there's certain moments where we get lost in the suspension of disbelief. And those moments is what we remember. Not sometimes after the match, but more often than not, it's the moments here and there that we remember the most.
It's definitely the moments. And that's what I had to figure out. That's what had to figure out about myself as a professional wrestling fan. It's not just the wrestling. We throw the word out professional wrestling, professional wrestlers, and sports entertainment.
Hmm.
There's professional wrestlers that professionally compete within sports entertainment, and that's what I enjoy. If you're just gonna be professionally wrestling without telling a story, it's good for the cosmetics of the look and the oh wow, they could pull off like the sequence of athletic feats. That's great.
And,
But
and
like
then
you said, I remember the story.
and also on that note, a certain somebody in AEW wanted to reference their specific craft as like a Picasso, like an artist. Okay, that's fine. Do you? However, the real artists, as we said earlier, are the ones that can create the suspension of disbelief to where, as they did like to put it, they restore the feeling. Well, guess what? W is mastering the art of making you remember why you felt to begin with.
At,
Like you said, it's the little things here and there.
down to the finishes. As a kid, when I seen Austin deliver a rock bottom and then the Rock turn around and deliver a stunner, I was mind blown. I said, "Whoa, what just happened?"
Or even WrestleMania in Florida, Shawn Michaels gives Flair, I'm sorry, I love you.
Shawn and Jericho.
The Hell in the Cell, the end of an era, Triple H, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels referee. Michaels goes for that super kick, tries to screw Taker, gets a 2 count. You see Michaels in the corner crying like, "What the fuck have I done?" Brock Lesnar, Romania 19, in the air, trying to shooting star press. The moments, for fuck's sakes, after 39, Cody Rhodes with the rubber chicken next to him.
I'm not gonna lie. The very first time Kane reversed the tombstone,
What was that, 20?
bro. It had to be. Yeah, it was definitely. I think
It
the
was, it
second
was 20. It
time,
was 20 when Taker came back.
bro. You've
And
never seen.
it's the moments.
Yeah, you've never seen
I'll give
blood.
you another moment. WrestleMania, was it WrestleMania? Yeah, WrestleMania 20. Eddie and Kurt Angle. Eddie is telling he got a broken ankle, loosens with the boot. Kurt gets the boot. Eddie sits out of the boot, gets a roll up 1, 2, 3.
And even like I hate to say it, right? We ain't gonna just stay one sided. Even like Javon, everybody acknowledged he was a little too ambitious with the spot with Randy. But that's just the mindset of the kids today.
He was thinking big. Just imagine if he undershot it perfectly into the RKO. What could have been
All you needed was probably one spin, a half a spin, a
half
half
a spin less. Just take a little bit off of it and you were spot on.
spot on. It became too much. And that's just the again, it goes to the mindset of today. Like when Evan Bourne did the spot with Randy, it was even that was a close, like they almost didn't get it off.
Shelton Benjamin taking the sweet chin music.
Close.
We never seen that before.
And some spots, I'm sorry, some spots should probably just stay that way, right? Like you'll replicate it down the line in a callback to a match, but to make it a regular done spot, that's the problem with a lot that's going on these days in professional wrestling. It's just no rhyme or reason. Things are
What
just
was
being done.
but also with someone as young as Javon, he's gonna learn again.
Oh yeah.
Got a tad bit overzealous. Again, it's not his fault. Again, it's just now these lads are gonna get brighter. Just do what got you to the dance. Just do your normal shit. You're just fine. You don't have to go above and beyond. We know how special you can be.
Yup, I agree with that. And this is what to me makes WWE special. Again, and any other company, I think TNA has taken great notice. They've always been great with their stories. They just management and other things have kept them from being great. Their approach at certain times. But I think the biggest place that got to learn is that has no identity to me is AEW right now. It's just go out and wrestle, and that's
Well,
not
it's
doing
something that they
anything
don't have an identity. It's just their identity as is take it or leave it.
right.
If you take it, you love it. If you don't, if you leave it, well, you have bad takes. Nothing's ever their fault. And hopefully, with this new deal and with this, as you learned earlier, these new ads on HBO Max, maybe they'll figure some shit out. Maybe one could only hope.
Yeah, because that's the part. I look at things because I get intrigued by business. I like to let the people in the universe know that before I'm thinking as a fan, I'm thinking how does this make sense business wise? And I'm looking at okay, this is a nice trailer. Like they put their time and effort into making a product, like the logos, the colors, the stage, and
Or
then
how does the follow up put ass in the seats for the following show?
yep.
Like the wise man once said, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense.
No, and sometimes it feels like the show gets a bit chaotic. It's like okay, like all right, for example, Wrestle Dream. The pre-show gave me fun,
Pretty
professional wrestling.
entertaining.
Yes, it was entertaining, fun, professional. This is what I expect from professional wrestling. When it came time to the regular show, I started to get annoyed.
About half of it was worth a replay.
I started to get annoyed.
But unfortunately, that's how all their shows go. About half of it you can do away with. At maximum, there's about out of the 4 hours of the show, anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours is rewatchable.
And maybe it's me being preconditioned to Vince's bullshit and Triple H's NXT stuff. But I'm also a fan of not seeing $1 million move in a 5 cent finish. I don't like watching basketball players just dribble around and not score. I don't care how fancy, how many ankles you took. You can't put the ball in the hoop. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you're a quarterback with the you got a bomb arm, you got a cannon as an arm, but you ain't got no target. You ain't got no
So to say
accuracy.
you're not fond of the gymnastics.
I am if it has a rhyme and reason. Again, is Rey Mysterio like he's athletic? Did he does? But his shit made sense.
Ray's also a 50-year-old man, damn near.
But even when he was younger, like I felt like I seen him do things that made sense. Like he was always fighting an uphill battle. And I feel like I see instances where you got the bigger wrestlers trying to keep up with the cruiserweight style. I think people should just if the story aligns for somebody to beat somebody, it should happen organically. I'm not opposed to the hybrids, but again, it makes the moment more special when done sparingly. If I see this on a week to week basis, again, LA Knight, he goes for that springboard every Friday. So when he does messes it up a few times, you start to like, damn, do you really need to do this all the time? Or it's called a high risk maneuver for a
Or
reason.
on the other show, you got guys 120 pounds and guys 400 pounds trying to do a shooting star press or a springboard move.
Yeah. And what did that accomplish? A 5 second, oh, or holy shit. What did it drive in next week? Did it drive in any viewers next week? Might have got us a few engagements tonight. Was those engagements from that maneuver, that high spot? Did that bring in the most engagements? Is it more engagements from last week? Is it gonna help bring in more engagements next week?
Or as far as the engagement, was it a positive engagement or was it one of those? Oh my God, is he dead?
Right. Yeah, because we can't tell that either. It could have been just looked at and then not looked at again. Just move on. Could have just popped up in the algorithm on the timeline.
How often do we see random injuries occur from a pre-tape from them?
You see nonsense injuries occur. Things that could have probably been avoided. Um, Weird injuries, like you said, due to lack of reps. Wear and tear, there's not really wear and tear. It's opposite of wear and tear, but it's like it has the syndromes of a wear and tear, but from not having the reps. It's like your
Why do
body's
something on
cold.
camera that you haven't practiced backstage? Not saying you got to choreograph every move, but some of the bigger stuff, at least pull out the crash pad to see if you can hit the damn thing first, because that might save your life.
Man, it's just like it's. I think the only people that get away with certain shit too, it's like I hate to say it, and this is how life works. Is politics. If you're in a position to like you got popularity like a Darby Allen, you can get away with if you just on the in the pre-show and you're doing a high spot. It's not gonna. It's very rare. It might get you on the pay-per-view the next time.
Darby might be the only exception to the rule.
I think so, and it goes with his character. It's like you said, we
That's
expect that
why.
change.
That's
Yeah,
that's why he might be the only exception. And again, even through all the dumb shit that he does, you can't deny that he's probably one of the most beloved guys on that roster. And I have my remarks about what should have become of him, but the clock's ticking with him. You have a possible star right there with him. How long are you gonna wait?
it's like for example, right? For me, what doesn't make sense is when you have multiple people on the card getting into extreme bouts. Like you got Hangman and Swerve bleeding in this match, and then Darby and this person going putting each other in coffins in this match, and that's the wrestling part, or it's just chaotic. It's chaotic.
Well, it's common knowledge that Tony's favorite promotion was ECW.
Another thing, when Undertaker and Kane had a buried alive match, you wasn't seeing these dudes for 6 months. They come back with a different gimmick. Kane coming when he got buried
or
without the mask, he came
or
back with the mask.
in any match on WWE or WWE with that stipulation, you'll see them all bandaged up for the next couple weeks at least, selling the injuries, selling the aftermath of the match, attention to detail. Aside from damage with the KT tape, you never see anyone selling what happened in the past.
And I honestly, that little tape shit they be putting on, ever since Cesaro started doing that shit, always looked cringy to me. I never was a fan
Yeah,
of that.
you're better feel the white tape just bandage the whole damn arm, bandage something.
Just keep it old school. Just throw the whole, yeah, like you said, bandage the whole arm with the,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? The white shit that we always see, man. Just trying to put that colored tape and all. It just look funny. They don't even look serious sometimes, especially when you throw the colors on them. It's like you being too designy with the injury now.
Because at least when we saw the white tape on him, we knew it was a bandage.
Yep.
Even the brown tape, we knew.
Yep.
Oh, they
Oh, of
convinced
course.
themselves.
Of course. Of course.
Emma's been down the rabbit hole even on the other show. I
Of
love it.
course. Of course. Of course. I felt like I've been knew that once the numbers game showed once Jacob went to the other side, And excuse me, once Jacob went to the other side and he wasn't in line with Roman, it made things kind of clear cut for me.
Now, in his side promo, while he's on his little independent freelance stuff, Zillapod 2 announced he's Team OTC.
Mm.
So we'll see how that goes. Lance Anawaya might be leaning towards Team OTC as well. But we'll see what comes out of that. Or they could be really rocking with The Rock. Who knows?
Nah, it should definitely be interesting for sure.
One person who I don't expect to see anytime soon would be one Alpha Jr. He got delivered some shit this weekend.
Yeah.
I guess I forget what show it was that, but I guess someone was doing like a Bloodline cosplay type gimmick or whatever outfit. Alpha beat the fuck out of him in the ring. Busted his shit up and everything. So he was essentially relieved of his duties from that said promotion.
Damn.
We're gonna Big homie put the pause on him good. I don't know if it was a joke or whatever the case may be. He was not feeling it.
Well, that's not cool.
Yeah.
Man. But yeah, anything we want to just say before we close out the Raw, before we get into the other joint?
No, we can just get into it.
I bet, chat. Yo, look, we're gonna send y'all off right here officially because we want to keep things a little bit more organized around here. You know what I'm saying? I feel like
We try and be a little professional.
yeah, it'll be more beneficial. You know what I'm saying? For the channel, for everything. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna send y'all out with the outro. We're gonna talk about me and Razor gonna chop this video up offline and talk about the next few topics offline. And just be sure to, if you haven't hit subscribe to this YouTube channel, hit subscribe, go follow us. You see the ticking banner below. Those are our social media profiles right there. You can go follow us on Twitter right there. And definitely stay tuned in because we're going to be talking about some things that's going on around the community. I have something from someone in the community posted up a good prospect for WrestleMania 41. If you tuned into that, I subscribed. I appreciate that so much. That really helps the channel a lot more than you would know. And we also got something that I want to cover regarding AEW and how Shelton Benjamin is being used. So yeah, we're gonna get into that and keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for that for sure. Once again, it's only I'm gonna keep it here for a second. Hit that QR code. Run this back a few seconds if y'all have to. And it'll take you to this song right here. We're gonna bring it back for y'all. We're gonna bring it back. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take you to official entrance theme song for this podcast. Unwelcome Your Thoughts Off the Hip. Just ride out with us, man.
Where the boss is sitting, stunning everything in sight. Whether it's in the bloodline or corporate, walk me out there with a big smile. No handcuff by officers. Hold on, wait. I think the script. We got some shooters.
Thank you, Amethyst. We appreciate you being here with us, chopping it up. We look forward to you coming out with us for the next time. Sure.
Where the boss is sitting, stunning everything in sight. Whether it's in the bloodline or corporate, walk me out there with a big smile. No handcuff by officers. Hold on, wait. I think they lost the script. We got some shooters. Pow. It's off the hip. Chilling at the head of the table where the boss is sitting, stunning everything in sight. Whether it's in the bloodline or corporate, walk me out the arena, big smile, handcuffed by officers. Hold on, wait, I think they lost the script.